Li Mei's Sword of Destiny. Chapter 1307. The heavens and earth regained their calmness. Qin Wentian drew in a deep breath as his body trembled. In that instant earlier, the entire world seemed to have changed. It was like an apocalyptic world. That was a true heaven and earth devil tribulation, exuding an apocalyptic might. Inclining his head, Qin Wentian stared at the devil's saber before him as a sense of reverence appeared in his heart. The sacred ground of the myriad devil islands, the 9 devil halls, were actually protected by supreme divine weapons, preventing others from entering. At this moment he also understood why he had to pass through that dilapidated devil hall to reach this place. If he couldn't even pass through that place and came here directly, that attack earlier would have been sufficient to destroy him. That strand of wool earlier seems to have brought along some fragments of memories. Qin Wentian's eyes gleamed with sharpness as he stared at the devil's saber. It was just that because that attack was too sudden, the fragments of memories were all destroyed, not leaving any imprints in his mind. What was that? Qin Wentian mumbled. He closed his eyes and sat cross-legged, simply sitting there to recover. After some time, when he opened his eyes again, a dazzling light could be seen within. Standing up, he stared at the devil halls before him as he felt some hesitation in his heart. There were 9 devil halls before him. Given his current cultivation base, it was basically impossible for him to attempt them one by one. If that was the case, he would be in a very miserable state. If the divine weapons before the devil halls were the passageways to open them, he could only choose one of them. If this was the case, he would have to give up on the Sky Devil Hall. Qin Wentian's silhouette flickered. He appeared before another devil hall. Outside this devil hall, there was an extremely terrifying devil halberd. In terms of cultivation, he would clearly be more compatible with this devil hall. However, he was still hesitating. There were a total of 9 devil halls. The Judiciary Devil Hall, Darkness Devil Hall and Apostle Devil Hall were born together with the Saint Devil Hall, and their statuses seemed to be even higher. As for Bai Qing, she was in the Judiciary Devil Hall. Maybe in this place, other than the Saint Devil Hall, there was no difference in statuses between the other 8 halls. But on the Devil Mountain there was a difference. If he only entered the Judiciary Devil Hall and obtained the inheritance, his status might not be comparable to the inheritors of the other Devil Halls. As for wanting to establish a Devil Hall like the founder of the Myriad Ancient Devil Hall, at the very least with his current cultivation base, this was nothing but a pipe dream. Without sufficient strength, everything would be useless. After hesitating for a long time, Qin Wentian's expression hardened. He took a step forward and actually left this devil hall, flashing in another direction. This time, since he had already arrived at the sacred ground of the Devil Mountain and entered the depths of the sacred ground, why not take a gamble? Since he wanted to fight, he should try to reach that supreme place. Hence, Qin Wentian's body came to the front of the Supreme Devil Hall, the Saint Devil Hall. This Devil Hall was located at the center of all the Devil Halls, the absolute core. The Myriad Devil Sovereign governed the Myriad Devil Islands, and all the Devil Halls submitted to him. And the Myriad Devil Sovereign was none other than the master of this Devil Hall. Qin Wentian didn't know if the Myriad Devil Sovereign still existed in this generation of the Myriad Devil Islands. But since this Devil Hall was the Saint Devil Hall, it would definitely contain the inheritance of the Myriad Devil Sovereign. In addition, on the Devil Mountain, the Saint Devil Hall was in ruins. It seemed that no one else had obtained the inheritance of the Myriad Devil Sovereign. Naturally, it was unknown if there were people hiding Qin Wentian. But at the very least, even if there were people who succeeded, they didn't cultivate to the peak of the Myriad Devil Sovereign. This Saint Devil Hall was the most unique one. Before the other Devil Halls, there were incomparably tyrannical devil weapons. Only this Devil Hall had divine weapons that weren't used for attacking. What appeared before Qin Wentian's eyes was a gigantic devil throne. It was like a supreme throne, the throne of a king. If there was someone who could sit on it, that person would be the Lord of the Devil Mountain. Qin Wentian drew in a deep breath. He stepped forward, but this time around he didn't directly cut his finger and drip his blood onto the throne. If this throne was like the Sky Devil's saber, he was worried that he wouldn't be able to endure it, and his will would be directly destroyed. He gradually got closer to the throne. His silhouette flashed as he appeared before the throne. After that, he stretched out his hand and tried to touch the throne. In an instant the heavens and earth changed color as a supreme devil might descended, enveloping the entire space. Boundless devil light enveloped everything as a fearsome trembling energy gushed into Qin Wentian's sea of consciousness. This time around he didn't loosen his hand, he held on with all his might. In his sea of consciousness a throne also appeared, quietly standing there like an eternal existence, waiting for the king on the throne. Boom! A fearsome might bore down. On the throne the shadow of a devil god appeared, standing there, ruling over the world. Tens of thousands of devils wept as they prostrated themselves beneath his feet. In Qin Wentian's sea of consciousness, an illusory devil god also appeared. At this moment Qin Wentian's will felt a sense of submission, wanting to submit to the throne. Both his legs trembled as though he wanted to kneel on the ground and prostrate himself. No! Qin Wentian screamed. Both his legs were trembling violently, as though they were no longer under his control. He wanted to kneel down, but his will was still holding on, unwilling to give up. The heavens and earth changed color. This city transformed into a devil city. The shadow of numerous devil kings appeared in the air, exuding boundless devil might. The boundless energy converged into one, landing on the throne. The figure on the throne stood there, the entire world had to submit to him. No one could defy him. Boom! A world-shaking devil saber slashed down towards Qin Wentian's will. The power of heavenly devil thunder rumbled endlessly, slashing down together with the saber, wanting to destroy everything. For those who refused to submit, there would be no mercy at all. No! Qin Wentian roared. The attack formed from his will wanted to resist, but he discovered that in front of the Supreme Devil Lord, his resistance was so weak that it couldn't even be mentioned. Gotcha! Qin Wentian's strength was shattered. A terrifying destructive might blasted down, crushing his will. However, the remnant of Qin Wentian's will was still persisting, unwilling to retreat. The devil on the throne looked down on everything. A blood-colored light of judgment descended, sweeping everything away. Boo! Qin Wentian's entire body trembled as he coughed out a mouthful of blood. After that, his consciousness faded as though he had suffered an extremely heavy injury. He directly fainted and lay down on the ground. The devil on the throne gradually vanished, as the violent devil energy dissipated. Everything returned to normal, as though nothing had happened at all. On the ground, only Qin Wentian's body could be seen quietly lying there like a corpse, not moving at all. Many days later, Qin Wentian finally woke up from his coma. He slowly stood up, feeling an intense pain in his head. However, in his eyes a dazzling light flickered. Throne, devil sovereign, the ruler of all devils, the sovereign of all devils. Qin Wentian stared ahead. Previously, he was already prepared in his heart. When he touched the throne, he discovered that some memories appeared in his mind. He faintly knew how terrifying that power was. This made him even more determined. He had to break through the defenses of the Devil Hall and enter. This was the Devil Hall of the Myriad Devil Sovereign, a hall that could control all devils. If he could enter, the other devil halls wouldn't be able to compare to him. All the other devil halls were controlled by this devil hall. Qin Wentian steeled his resolve and tried again. However, the ending wasn't any different. Although he persisted for a longer period of time, he was still blasted into unconsciousness. Luckily, there weren't any other dangers here. If not, he would have died without a doubt. He tried again and again, but he failed again and again. Qin Wentian was defeated again and again, but he continued to fight. After countless failures, the will of humans would become weaker and weaker, unable to withstand a single strike. However, Qin Wentian's will grew firmer and firmer. The stronger this power was, the more he wanted to conquer it. However, this was like an insurmountable mountain. It was too difficult. After all, this devil hall was the symbol of the Saint Devil Hall. Finally, Qin Wentian tried again. The heavens and earth changed, transforming into a world of devils. This time, Qin Wentian persisted for a longer time, but it was still useless. The blood-colored scepter of judgment, the world-destroying sky devil saber, the boundless devil energy all gushed forth at the same time. There was no way to block them at all. In addition, this time around, this power seemed to be enraged, frenziedly rushing into Qin Wentian's sea of consciousness, wanting to control Qin Wentian's will. The terrifying devil might was unblockable. Although Qin Wentian's will was firm to the extreme, his cultivation base was still too weak. His will wasn't strong enough and he still had no way to open the Saint Devil Hall where the myriad devil sovereign resided. When that terrifying devil will frenziedly invaded Qin Wentian's sea of consciousness, Qin Wentian felt as though his body was no longer under his control. However, he still maintained his consciousness and didn't disperse. That devil will frenziedly swept through, even rushing into the tiny astral being in Qin Wentian's sea of consciousness. It was as though it had discovered something. It actually frenziedly rushed into the depths of the tiny astral being. Qin Wentian's heart violently pounded. There were actually other types of energy that could enter there? What sort of energy was this devil will exactly? At this moment, in the boundless astral world, an intense collision suddenly occurred. It was as though two different wills were clashing against each other. A shattering force descended, directly dissipating the devil will. That controlling energy was unceasingly destroyed, and in Qin Wentian's sea of consciousness, the figure on the throne directly collapsed. At this instant, the throne shattered into pieces. In the outside world, the throne that stood in the void seemed to split open from the middle. Then a path was opened up. Chapter 1308. Boom! Qin Wentian only felt his consciousness returning. He opened his eyes as an intense headache assaulted his mind. He stared at the path opened up. He simply didn't dare to imagine that he had actually won. Before this, although he tried his best to conquer this devil hall, even he couldn't help but to admit that this was nothing but a distant dream. He couldn't see any hope, and it was extremely difficult to realize. This Saint Devil Hall was the place where the myriad devil sovereign resided. The sovereign of the devil path was invincible, but now a path was forcefully opened up. Not thinking too much, Qin Wentian drew in a deep breath and stepped into the devil hall. The interior of this devil hall was extremely unique. It was completely different from the other devil halls Qin Wentian had entered before. There seemed to be nothing here, only diagrams were engraved on the ground. Qin Wentian walked up, recalling some of the memories he obtained from the throne outside. He stood in the center of the diagrams and after that, he formed ancient seals with both his hands as he blasted them out, imprinting them onto the ground. A bright light flowed about, growing increasingly resplendent. At this instant the diagrams on the ground seemed to be moving, changing unceasingly. An ancient book of the devil path appeared on the ground. Rustling sounds rang out as the pages of the ancient book flipped. Boundless devil runes appeared and in an instant, beams of devilish light shot up into the sky, piercing through the heavens, as though they were breaking apart this world, moving towards the boundless starry space. The beams of devilish light reflected back, enveloping Qin Wentian and the ancient book, as well as the entire devil hall. Countless devil runes floated in the air as a fearsome will descended from the heavens. In the air, a supreme devil figure appeared. He sat on the throne resembling the astral devil sovereign, the sovereign of all devils, the sovereign of all devils. Intense waves of shock appeared in Qin Wentian's heart. What a terrifying devil might, what a powerful devil will. Everything was as he had guessed. This devil hall was the true Saint Devil Hall. Was this place the true inheritance of the myriad devil sovereign? If this was the case, was he currently accepting the inheritance of the myriad devil sovereign? Only to see Qin Wentian drawing in a deep breath and closing his eyes. The ancient book of the devil path enveloped him, basking in the radiance of the devil sovereign. Numerous devil runes floated into Qin Wentian's mind, causing numerous ancient runes to appear, as though they were floating out from the ancient book, imprinting themselves into his mind. In the air, the devilish phantom on the throne unleashed a terrifying will that bore down on Qin Wentian, directly penetrating into his sea of consciousness. Qin Wentian groaned in misery as he almost fell to the ground. His will was on the verge of collapsing, but luckily this time around, the will wasn't attacking him. Instead, it was transmitting its will into his sea of consciousness. Hence, Qin Wentian was able to endure it. If not, with just a single will, Qin Wentian would already be lying on the ground, unable to climb back up. This will was simply too powerful. It was unknown how many times stronger compared to the will in the external world. However, even if this will didn't have any offensive capabilities, the powerful law energy within it still caused Qin Wentian to feel a sense of submission. This was the will of the devil Tao sovereign, the ruler of all devils. Together with the runes in the Devil Book, the will of the Devil Dao Sovereign flowed into his sea of consciousness, transmitting this power to him. Qin Wentian knew what sort of opportunity this represented. He naturally wouldn't give it up. Even if it was extremely painful, he still had to persist. Qin Wentian also understood how lucky he was to be able to reach this point. Initially, it was basically impossible for something like this to happen. But because of some special existences, the impossible became reality. How could Qin Wentian miss out on such an extremely rare opportunity? Countless runes imprinted themselves into his mind. The will of the myriad devil sovereign gushed into his body, interweaving into a resplendent scene. Qin Wentian did his best to absorb all the energy he could, forgetting the flow of time. In the external world, in this sacred ground, another person walked in. This person was none other than the one who killed his way up the Devil Mountain just like Qin Wentian. The one who obtained the inheritance of the founder of the 9 Emperors' immortal state, Huang Shatian, also walked in here. Just like Qin Wentian after he tried, he actually made the same choice as Qin Wentian, walking towards the Saint Devil Hall. That Saint Devil Hall closed again after Qin Wentian entered. Huang Shatian had no idea what was happening inside. He also wanted to enter, but after trying for a long time, he finally knew that it was impossible. Even if he had the supreme inheritance of the 9 Emperors' immortal state, he still wouldn't be able to break through the barrier of this hall. Helpless, Huang Shatian could only choose another Devil Hall. Finally, he chose that incomparably sharp Devil Hall with many divine weapons and accepted the Devil test. The sky changed colors, the space changed. In this boundless space, only the divine weapons of the devil could penetrate through the heavens and earth, controlling millions of devil weapons. Huang Shatian tried with difficulty and was forced back several times, coughing out blood. He had no way to enter, but his will was also incomparably tough. Finally, he broke through all obstacles and entered the Devil Hall. After Huang Shatian, there was actually another expert who entered the sacred ground. This person was none other than the immortal realm's Wu Xiu. His entire body exuded an immeasurable aura and was clad in white armor, exuding a sense of imposingness. Consecutively, 3 immortal realms Wu Xiu all entered the core of the sacred ground. As for the devil cultivators, there wasn't a single one at all. This seemed to prove that the devil cultivators on the Devil Mountain were inferior to Wu Xiu, but in reality, this wasn't the case. For those who could enter here, they had already done so before. For those who didn't, they were still trying again and again. But for these peak geniuses of the immortal realms, this was the first time they ascended the Devil Mountain. It was only normal for the few at the very peak to enter the core. On the Devil Mountain, it was extremely lively because there were many young geniuses who ascended. In addition, many of them were actually immortal realms Wu Xiu, and they were divided into 2 factions. The people on the Devil Mountain also finally knew that these immortal realms Wu Xiu were attracted here by that fellow from the Apostle Devil Hall. Many devil cultivators cursed silently in their hearts. However, the arrival of these immortal realms Wu Xiu also gave the devil cultivators on the Devil Mountain a huge pressure. Because these immortal realms experts were all very strong. This was especially so for some of them. They could even contend against the juniors of the 6 devil halls at the peak of the Devil Mountain. Occasionally, there would be people talking about the 2 people who fought their way to the peak of the Devil Mountain back then. One of them was Qin Wentian. He even caused the Child of Darkness to abdicate his position and caused the Judiciary Priestess to be locked up in the Blood Devil Cliff for 3 years, causing a huge commotion. The other person was much more direct. He fought his way to the peak of the Devil Mountain, and after defeating the Child of Darkness, he directly entered the sacred ground. His coldness and domineeringness also left a deep impression on everyone. Right now, there were already many people guessing how far these 2 fellows could go in the sacred ground. Maybe they have already died. Today, it has already been over 2 years since Qin Wentian entered the Saint Devil Hall. On a certain location on the Devil Mountain, there were actually many experts in a standoff. If Qin Wentian was here, he would definitely discover that these people were actually related to the adjudication battle. The 2 parties in a standoff were naturally the alliance of the Sky Mist Immortal Emperor and the alliance of the Chongqing the Great. Qida and the others also ascended the Devil Mountain, although they arrived much later than Qin Wentian. The test of the Devil Mountain could make the vast majority of people stay. But to those with extremely outstanding talent, even the Devil Mountain wouldn't be able to trap them. For true geniuses, regardless of comprehension, will, or strength, they were all above ordinary people. In this confrontation, the number of experts on the side of the Sky Mist Immortal Emperor's side was evidently higher. In addition, quite a number of conflicts had already erupted between them. But because killing was forbidden on the Devil Mountain, although many people were injured, no one died. I say, killing is forbidden on the Devil Mountain. There's no meaning for you guys to fight here and there. It wouldn't affect the adjudication battle at all. Why don't we shake hands and chat, finding a place to cultivate? Monk Bujie stood at the side and laughed, as though he wanted the world to be in chaos. However, everyone knew that Bujie's words could be considered as the truth. The adjudication battle would depend on the number of people who stepped out of the myriad Devil Islands. It would only be effective as long as they could kill their opponents. The 10-year deadline will eventually arrive. After we descend the Devil Mountain, we don't even need to watch to know the outcome of the adjudication battle. A peak stage Immortal Foundation character from the White Tiger people coldly spoke. His entire body radiated a tyrannical aura, and his eyes were extremely demonic. Even if you guys use despicable methods to bring more people here, as long as more of those 100 people die, the adjudication battle would still be a loss. Nanfeng Ruoxuan coldly replied, not showing any weakness at all. Let's just wait and see then. An expert from the 9 Emperors Immortal State spoke. After that, he waved his hand as the group of them departed. Now that they were on the Devil Mountain, it was true that they could seize the time to cultivate. There were many good places on the mountain, and they could even fight against the devil cultivators from the various devil halls. They didn't fight? A young man laughed. This young man was none other than Jiang Ziyu from the Jiang clan of the southern regions. He inclined his head and stared in the direction of the peak of the Devil Mountain. He should have entered the Saint Devil Hall together with Qin Wentian. Wu Xiao from the various immortal realms started his training on the Devil Mountain. Time wouldn't stop, and in the blink of an eye, another half a year passed. Today, a figure walked out from the Saint Devil Hall, instantly attracting the attention of many. This figure was actually none other than Huang Shatian. What did you obtain in the Saint Devil Hall? An expert from the Devil Path asked. Huang Shatian coldly glanced at him and didn't bother to reply. Several experts from the Sky Mist Immortal Emperor's side stared at Huang Shatian as excitement flashed in their eyes. Right now, Huang Shatian should be even stronger, right? Busy. That devil cultivator who spoke to Huang Shatian earlier stepped out, directly slashing down with a terrifying devil saber. Huang Shaishan's eyes abruptly gleamed with sharpness. He pointed his finger forward, and in an instant, the devil saber in his opponent's hand went out of control. Release it. An extremely powerful devil might bore down on him. That expert's hand trembled as his devil saber hummed in response. After that, it flew out of his hand and actually flew towards Huang Shatian, landing at his feet. An ultimate art of the Devil Path? What did you obtain? That devil cultivator's eyes gleamed with a terrifying devil light. Numerous experts from the Devil Path stared at Huang Shatian. Could this man be the same as the first myriad ancient Devil Hall leader? Chapter 1309. Huang Shaishan's eyes looked at him, but the other only felt that it was not a pair of eyes, but an extremely sharp demonic ice blade. His expression kept changing. It was extremely interesting. Only to see him stretching his hands out. In an instant, boundless devil might converged as terrifying devil might gushed forth in the air. Numerous runic inscriptions flashed, and the devil weapons on the bodies of many people all started to vibrate. In the air, numerous incomparably sharp devil weapons actually appeared. Huang Shatian himself also became sharper than before. It was like his body was forged from a devil weapon. Numerous Devil Path experts flew over, staring fixedly at Qin Wentian. This man, Wu Xiao of the Immortal Realms, actually managed to enter the core region of their Devil Mountain and obtained an inheritance? This technique seemed to be able to control all divine weapons of the Devil Dao. It could also summon divine weapons of the Devil Dao, and even transform them into devil weapons. Its might was extremely terrifying. From afar, there were even powerful devil kings rushing over here. When they saw the devil might in the air gathering together to form an incomparably sharp and tyrannical weapon, they came to the Saint Devil Hall and stared at Huang Shatian. As seniors of the Devil Mountain, they had heard of some of the secrets of this Saint Devil Hall before. This hall was the sacred ground of the Devil Mountain, and it was rumored that in the depths of the Saint Devil Hall, there was a secret ground that contained all sorts of inheritances. In fact, there were even 6 devil halls which contained inheritances. However, very few people could reach that place. Even for those with outstanding talent, they might not be able to gain anything from that place. Moreover, if the cultivators of the various demon halls on the Demon Mountain really went to that place, they would usually choose to go to the power of inheritance that they were most proficient in. This way, after they came out, they would have a higher chance of achieving higher achievements in the demon hall they were in, and they might even sit on the throne. However, there were also some mutants that appeared before. The Myriad Ancient Devil Hall, Sky Devil Hall, Imperial Dragon Devil Hall. These were all existences that were born because of the appearance of these mutants. And now another strange being appeared. However, this person wasn't Wu Xiu from the Devil Mountain. He was someone from the immortal realms and might have obtained an inheritance from that place. You obtained the inheritance of a devil hall? A devil king stared at Huang Shatian. His deep eyes gleamed with darkness as he stared at Huang Shatian. This was a brand new power. It was very possible that he obtained the inheritance of a brand new devil hall. If this was the case, as long as he could continue cultivating and not die, once he reached the Devil Emperor realm, he would have the qualifications to establish a devil hall on the Devil Mountain. In fact, if he was strong enough, he might even be like the founder of the Myriad Ancient Devil Hall, placing his devil hall at the peak of the Devil Mountain, standing side by side with the 7 other devil halls that already existed. What do you all think? Huang Shatian calmly spoke. His words caused the expressions of the experts from the alliance of Chongqing the Great to change as they stared at Huang Shatian in anger. This fellow clearly saw them and knew that many experts from both sides had ascended the Devil Mountain. But since the Devil Mountain forbade killing, he wanted to chase them down before killing them. The eyes of those devil cultivators gleamed. They stared at Huang Shatian like they were looking at a treasure trove. This Huang Shatian could be considered someone who had no taboos, obtaining the inheritance of a devil hall. He didn't conceal it at all and released it in public. Without a doubt, given his strength, many devil cultivators would covet it. However, Huang Shatian didn't seem to care at all. He was truly audacious. Wait here for a moment. I need to consult the devil hall. A devil king spoke. After that, his silhouette flickered as he sped towards the devil hall he was in. For those who ascended the Devil Mountain, they have all passed the test of will of the Myriad Devil Sovereign and obtained his recognition, enjoying the glory and protection of the Myriad Devil Sovereign. Unless they violated the rules of the Devil Mountain, the experts of the Devil Mountain wouldn't be allowed to expel them. The Devil Halls could choose not to accept them, but they couldn't expel or kill them. This had always been the rule of the Devil Mountain. But now, because of a single sentence from Huang Shatian, these devil cultivators wanted to change this rule. One couldn't help but to say that this was already defying the will of the Myriad Devil Sovereign. However, Huang Shatian's words caused them to have no choice but to consider it. They couldn't help but feel their hearts stirring. Not long after, more and more experts gathered here, including those from the immortal realms. In fact, there were even experts from the 6 devil halls at the peak of the Devil Mountain. Their gazes would occasionally turn to Wu Xiu from the immortal realms from the Chongqing the Great Alliance, causing the expressions of Qida and Nanfeng Ruoxuan to change unceasingly, extremely unsightly to behold. The atmosphere was extremely heavy. Clearly, these devil cultivators were all moved. Everyone, what do you all think? At this moment, a voice rang out on the Devil Mountain. This voice seemed somewhat ethereal. It was unknown where it originated from. The experts outside the Saint Devil Hall all inclined their heads. Who was the one who spoke? Since you obtained the inheritance, you naturally belong to the Devil Mountain. Let me ask you, are you willing to stay on the Devil Mountain? We can aid you in your cultivation, allowing you to grow stronger. In the future, you would have a chance to establish a Devil Hall of your own. An incomparably imposing voice rang out. Clearly, this question was directed at Huang Shatian. A terrifying expert from one of the devil halls was asking Huang Shatian a question. I won't. Maybe I will come to the Devil Mountain in the future, but for now I won't stay here. I have to return to the immortal realms for cultivation. Huang Shatian calmly spoke, replying to that expert. The Judiciary Devil Hall seems to have rejected you. Another voice rang out. After that, everyone understood that the expert who spoke to Huang Shatian earlier was actually a powerful character from the Judiciary Devil Hall. Seems like the Judiciary Devil Hall truly followed the will of the Myriad Devil Sovereign. Even if it was Wu Xiu from the Immortal Realms, they were still willing to acknowledge Huang Shaishan's position as long as he stayed on the Devil Mountain to cultivate. Senior, please forgive me. Huang Shatian bowed slightly. You are saying that as long as we drive some people off the Devil Mountain, we would be able to leave the power we obtained here and leave? An expert asked. Yes. In addition, Junior can make an oath here that I will never impart this art to others or I will die a horrible death. Huang Shatian swore. He knew how important this ability was to the Devil Mountain. Hence, it was necessary for him to express his stance. Nonsense. If you dare to impart this to others, even if you are the ruler of the 9 Emperors' immortal state, you will still have to die. A tyrannical voice rang out, filled with an unquestionable intent, causing the hearts of countless people to tremble. This was the tyranny and confidence of a peak-level expert of the Devil Mountain. Even if Huang Shatian returned to the Immortal Realms, it would be the same. Also, they already knew where Huang Shatian came from. Huang Shatian didn't suspect that Qin Wentian was boasting. The people of the Devil Mountain all believed in the Myriad Devil Sovereign. If he really spread the devil inheritance he obtained in the sacred ground to the Immortal Realms, how could the Devil Mountain spare him? He naturally understood that if the Devil Mountain wanted to target his 9 Emperors' immortal state, no matter how strong the 9 Emperors' immortal state was, it wouldn't be enough. The Myriad Devil Islands was a place where immortal emperors were forbidden from entering. As for the Devil Mountain, it could represent the will of the Myriad Devil Islands. I have no objections. Judiciary, I believe as long as you nod your head, this matter wouldn't be difficult. An expert from the Myriad Devil sect spoke. I refuse. Since both of us are Wu Xiu who ascended the Devil Mountain, we have no qualifications to expel someone who passed the test. This would be blasphemy and disrespect to the Myriad Devil Sovereign. A powerful devil cultivator spoke. This voice originated from the direction of the Myriad Ancient Devil Hall. Humph! A cold snort rang out, as though he was filled with disdain towards the earlier voice. He then coldly spoke, the inheritance of the Devil Mountain is above everything else. Since a brand new inheritance has appeared, it naturally has to be above everything else. Rules are set by humans. Sometimes, some changes are meant to show respect to the Myriad Devil Sovereign. Ridiculous. You even dare to defy the will of the Myriad Devil Sovereign. How can you still talk about showing respect to the Myriad Devil Sovereign? An expert from the Myriad Ancient Devil Hall coldly snorted. Judiciary, you should express your stance now. At this moment, the Judiciary Devil Hall should have more authority. The final decision will be decided by you guys. A voice rang out. The outside of the Saint Devil Hall was completely silent. All the experts inclined their heads, quietly listening to this unmasked conversation. These devil cultivators were indeed devil cultivators, tyrannical and magnanimous, not hiding anything at all, saying whatever they wanted to say. The purpose of the Judiciary Hall is to obey the will of the Myriad Devil Sovereign. Expelling them clearly doesn't conform to the will of the Myriad Devil Sovereign. However, we have an even more important mission, which is to inherit the will of the Myriad Devil Sovereign, to protect the Devil Mountain and the Myriad Devil Islands forever. In that case, we have to strengthen ourselves. Hence, my judgment is to expel them from the Devil Mountain. Everything is for the sake of the Devil Mountain. Judiciary, your choice is correct. Another expert spoke. At this instant, the people on Huang Shaishan's side all laughed, while the experts on the Chongqing the Great side all had expressions of defeat on their faces. These supreme characters from the Devil Hall actually decided to expel them with just a few sentences? This was simply wanting their lives. The supreme characters of the Devil Mountain actually gave up on the will of the Myriad Devil Sovereign and still want to lie to themselves? An unhappy voice rang out from the crowd. However, the other party didn't reply at all. A moment later, another voice rang out. You guys prepare yourselves and leave the Devil Mountain. I don't wish for the Devil Mountain to act. The decision made by these supreme characters was basically unquestionable. Since they have already decided to expel them from the Devil Mountain, there was no room for negotiation. Go down. A cold voice rang out like a bolt of thunder from the clear skies, ringing in the ears of the experts from the Evergreen Alliance. If they left the Devil Mountain, it would be equivalent to doomsday. Chapter 13:10. Back then, the white-robed young man from the Apostle Devil Hall invited us to the Devil Mountain, but now, he was expelled and the will of the myriad Devil Sovereign was ignored. As juniors of the immortal realms, we naturally have no way to defy the commands of the seniors of the Devil Mountain. It's just that I'm truly disappointed in the Devil Mountain. The people on the side of the Chongqing the Great knew that they had no way to resist the commands of the Devil Mountain. At this moment, the people who spoke were all major characters of the Devil Mountain. The decision they made, how could it be something these juniors of the immortal realms could change? Huang Shatian obtained the inheritance power of the Saint Devil Hall, causing the major characters of the Devil Mountain to appear. Hence, these major characters of the Devil Mountain wanted to go against the will of the myriad Devil Sovereign and expel them. The Adjudication Hall has always upheld the will of the myriad Devil Sovereign. But this time around, isn't it a little too against the Adjudication Hall? An expert from the myriad Ancient Devil Hall spoke, his tone filled with indignation for the immortal realms. I've already said it before. For the sake of the Devil Mountain becoming stronger, even if we have to go against the will of the myriad Devil Sovereign, our Judiciary Devil Hall is willing to admit this stain on our reputation. The voice of the Judiciary Devil Hall was filled with unquestionable determination. Still not going down the mountain? A domineering voice rang out from the direction of the Heavenly Devil Hall. Wu Xiao from the Zhu Immortal Realms had a dim expression on his face as his eyes gleamed with coldness. He exchanged glances with each other before he turned and headed down the mountain. This time around, Huang Shatian would definitely lead his troops to surround and kill them. Most probably, their situation would be extremely miserable. Huang Shatian stared at the figures of these experts. He stepped out as many experts from his side followed, preparing to descend the Devil Mountain as well. It was obvious that he wanted to end the judgment battle with this final blow. The experts on the side of Chongqing the Great moved very slowly. They walked down the mountain step by step. It was difficult to ascend the Devil Mountain, but it was easy to descend. Not only were there no obstructions, there was also no test of the Devil Mountain. Huang Shatian and the others followed behind him. All of them radiated an intense killing intent as their eyes flickered with coldness. Finally, they arrived at the stairway leading to the Devil Mountain. With a single glance, they could easily see the stairway and could casually walk down it. Step by step, they descended the Devil Mountain. Huang Shatian and the others followed behind them. Behind them, there were also some demonic cultivators following them. It seemed like they wanted to see what would happen, or perhaps they wanted to monitor the movements of these people. The peak of the Devil Mountain became silent once more. Bujie felt his scalp turning numb. He stared into the Saint Devil Hall and cursed in a low voice, "Why isn't that fellow out yet? Huang Shatian is a step ahead of us. This is going to be fatal." Bujie knew how terrifying Huang Shatian was. That fellow was basically not someone he could deal with. Maybe other than Qin Wentian, no one else would be able to block Huang Shatian. This was especially so since Huang Shatian had just exited the Saint Devil Hall not long ago and obtained a powerful inheritance. He would only become even more terrifying than before. If he went to help, he would only be courting death. "Senior brother, is there any way to help?" Bujie asked the expert from the myriad Ancient Devil Hall beside him. That expert shook his head. The Judiciary Devil Hall has already given the order. 4 out of the 6 halls have expressed their stance, including the Judiciary Devil Hall and Darkness Devil Hall. There's basically no way to change the ending. If we interfere, it would be even more outrageous. "There's no way at all?" Bujie asked. "No, unless that friend of yours also obtained an inheritance and came out. Maybe that might cause the major characters on the Devil Mountain to change their minds." That expert from the myriad Ancient Devil Hall spoke. "Fart, how can there be such a coincidence?" The monk Bujie cursed in a low voice. Things were going to be bad. If Qin Wentian's friends were all killed and they were defeated in the adjudication battle, that fellow would surely go crazy. But just as Bujie cursed, his eyes suddenly froze as he stared in astonishment at the figure walking out from the Saint Devil Hall. "What a coincidence," Bujie mumbled. At this moment, from the sacred ground of the Devil Mountain, A figure slowly walked out. If this figure wasn't Qin Wentian, who else could it be? Qin Wentian also saw Bujie. When he saw the strange expression on Bujie's face, he couldn't help but quicken his footsteps as he asked, "What's wrong?" "Quick, it's too late. Many of the friends of you and Huang Shatian who participated in the adjudication battle have already ascended the Devil Mountain. Just before you, Huang Shatian obtained the inheritance and walked out, using the method of handing over the inheritance to get the Devil Mountain to expel your friends. Huang Shatian and the others followed after him. If you immediately release the inheritance after obtaining it, you might still be able to change the minds of the Devil Mountain's Devil Hall." Bujie hurriedly spoke. Qin Wentian's eyes instantly froze. A terrifying aura erupted forth from him as he stared at the expert from the myriad ancient Devil Hall. "Senior, can you bring me down the mountain immediately?" "Sure." That expert from the myriad ancient Devil Hall nodded lightly. After that, he grabbed Qin Wentian and stepped out with unbelievable speed. And at this moment, Huang Shatian and the others had already arrived at the foot of the Devil Mountain. The experts from both sides all released their terrifying auras. Huang Shatian took a step out as a terrifying divine weapon appeared behind him. A screen of light flashed in the air, unexcelled in this world. Busy. The experts from the Evergreen Alliance all took out their divine weapons. They knew that it was impossible for them to fight against Huang Shatian with their strength alone. They could only rely on their treasures. "I advise you guys not to court death," Huang Shatian coldly spoke. As the sound of his voice faded, the screen of light behind him grew even more resplendent as a supreme aura engulfed the area. Countless people at the foot of the Devil Mountain turned their gazes over as shock could be seen on their faces. These fellows who came down from the Devil Mountain actually started a battle here? What was going on? How powerful! The experts from the Evergreen Alliance turned ashen. The supreme treasure behind Huang Shatian was too terrifying, shaking the heavens and earth. Even the space seemed to be on the verge of shattering. That was a supreme treasure. This was the inheritance treasure of the 9 Emperors' immortal state. Because Huang Shatian's compatibility with this supreme treasure was extremely high, he was able to obtain the inheritance power within. This was why the 9 Emperors' immortal state bestowed him with the inheritance power of the founder of the 9 Emperors' immortal state, as well as this supreme treasure. It was naturally terrifying. For this adjudication battle, our cultivation bases are about the same. Keep your divine weapons. I'll give you guys a chance to fight fairly and allow you all to die with dignity. Huang Shatian floated in the air as he coldly spoke. The expressions of the experts from the Evergreen Alliance kept changing. They knew that they had no way to defend against Huang Shatian's treasures. They could only keep their divine weapons one after another. For a supreme genius like Huang Shatian, there weren't many in the entire immortal realms. Now that he obtained the inheritance of the 9 Emperors' immortal state and the Devil Mountain, it was unknown how terrifying he was now. Huang Shatian stretched his hand out as that terrifying pressure dissipated. He could retract his divine weapons as he willed it. The experts behind him also obeyed his command and kept their divine weapons. Although the adjudication battle depended on one's own methods, Huang Shatian was extremely confident and arrogant. He felt that there was no need for him to borrow the power of his divine weapons to obtain victory. The people from the Sky Mist Alliance all obeyed his command. Naturally, this was because Huang Shatian's absolute strength was there for all to see. If not, how would the disciples of the various peak powers here so easily obey him? Kill! Huang Shatian's palm slammed down. Instantly, numerous terrifying divine weapons shot out from the floating light screen behind him, slicing through the air as they shot towards Qin Wentian. Bang! Cheetah took a step forward as his aura erupted to the extreme. He unleashed his battle saint art, transforming into a powerful defensive screen of light that blasted outwards. When the countless divine weapons descended, rumbling sounds rang out unceasingly. Huang Shatian took a step forward as his aura grew even more terrifying. With a thunderous boom, the defensive screen was shattered as the divine weapons shot out. Behind Huang Shatian, the experts from the Evergreen Alliance also stepped out, launching their own attacks. In this vast space, an earth-shattering battle instantly erupted. Duan Qingshan and Nanfeng Ruoxuan both rushed forward. The terrifying law energy radiating from Huang Shatian began to expand, enveloping this entire space. The law energy of the others wasn't as strong as his, they were all enveloped by him. He stood in the air, lofty, suppressing everything. Die! Only to see that at this moment Huang Shatian lifted his palm. Instantly, boundless killing immortal light shot towards an expert. That expert used all his strength to defend, but the speed of that beam of light was too fast and seemed to be boundless. With a piercing sound, numerous divine weapons penetrated through, directly destroying the body of that expert. He died. Huang Shatian. In the air a thunderous roar rang out. Huang Shatian inclined his head only to see Qin Wentian being flung over by a devil cultivator. Qin Wentian was like a bolt of black lightning. His gaze froze. He didn't expect Qin Wentian to appear at such a crucial moment. Seems like he had another opponent. Boom! In just an instant, a divine glow circulated around Qin Wentian, unexcelled in the world. He released his saint-grade immortal foundation as God's hand blasted out, aiming for the person closest to him. This palm contained the anger of Qin Wentian. That expert inclined his head and slashed out with a fearsome beam of light. However, the God's hand could destroy everything, shattering the void and blotting out the sun. With a thunderous boom, that expert was directly killed. Just a single strike. 9th level of immortal foundation. Many experts had looks of shock on their faces. When this fellow entered the myriad devil islands, he was only at the 7th level. How did he improve so quickly? He was actually already at the 9th level. This was simply terrifying. The White Tiger people and the experts from the Tenlon Heaven Kingdom all had unsightly expressions on their faces. Qin Wentian's rate of improvement was a little too fast. When he was at the 7th level, he could already dominate everyone. Now that he stepped into the 9th level, he could insta-kill 9th level geniuses. Easy. Huang Shatian stretched out his finger and a moment later, countless divine weapons shot towards Qin Wentian. However, Qin Wentian only saw the gigantic shadow of a divine turtle protecting him. Terrifying ancient runes manifested as he stood within the light screen, resisting Huang Shatian's attacks. Their gazes collided in the air as their battle intent soared. At this moment, Huang Shatian's eyes narrowed as his expression turned unsightly to behold. Qin Wentian's growth was too fast. Although his improvements during these years were great, as long as he didn't break through to the immortal king realm, the gap between Qin Wentian and him would only grow smaller and smaller. He didn't expect that Qin Wentian would be able to break through to the 9th level so quickly. Chapter 1311. Qin Wentian has arrived. The experts from the Chongqing the Great Alliance heaved a sigh of relief when they saw Qin Wentian arriving. The pressure Huang Shatian gave them was too great. He could insta-kill geniuses. In their camp, other than Qin Wentian, there seemed to be no one else who could face Huang Shatian head-on. Before this, Huang Shatian only needed a single strike to kill an expert. But luckily, Qin Wentian arrived in time. His appearance instantly stabilized the hearts of everyone. Huang Shatian, your opponent is me. Huang Shatian stood arrogantly in the air as he coldly spoke. After hearing Bujie's words, he didn't beg for the experts from the Devil Mountain to retract their orders. Since they wanted to fight, he would fight then. This battle was unavoidable, and right now, Qin Wentian was confident that if he fought against Huang Shatian again, he would only win. Huang Shatian's gaze when he stared at Qin Wentian was no longer filled with absolute confidence. Instead, it was heavy. He had already clashed with Qin Wentian twice, and each time, Qin Wentian would give him a pleasant surprise. This time, Qin Wentian, who had broken through to the 9th level, would only be stronger and harder to deal with. Easy. The light screen in the sky manifested as spatial laws enveloped the surroundings, engulfing all the divine weapons. Each and every divine weapon exuded a supreme divine glow, exuding an unexcelled sharpness that was extremely terrifying. You should know that this kind of attack is useless against me. Qin Wentian stared at Huang Shatian as he spoke arrogantly, only to see Huang Shatian pointing out with a finger as he spat out the word, kill. In an instant, countless divine weapons shot out. Each beam of killing light transformed into a divine weapon that contained terrifying attack power. However, the light screen on Qin Wentian's body was extremely terrifying. It could be broken apart and reborn again. Then I'll let you experience it. Huang Shatian stretched out his hands. Instantly, a violent and sharp devil might engulfed the area. causing the entire space to tremble. At this moment, the other participants in combat were all drawn into this tempest. Numerous divine weapons seemed to have been demonized. All of them actually flew towards Huang Shatian, merging into the illusory killing light screen. Huang Shatian was like an invincible divine weapon. At this moment, there was only an extremely domineering sharpness. "Let me see how strong your defense is," Huang Shatian coldly spoke. Countless devil attacks rained down on him. Each and every one of them was the sharpest and most tyrannical of divine weapons. Rumbling sounds rang out unceasingly, shattering the ancient characters and shattering the light screen as they shot towards Qin Wentian. An ancient halberd appeared in Qin Wentian's hand as a destructive might gushed forth. 8 demonic dragons revolved around him as he blasted out with his palms, activating the power of God's hand. At this moment, a terrifying vortex of killing manifested, devouring all incoming attacks. "Come here," Huang Shatian roared. Qin Wentian only felt the ancient halberd in his hand trembling uncontrollably as it was being demonized bit by bit. His eyes gleamed with a fearsome devilish light as a terrifying devil will gushed forth, expelling Qin Wentian's will. Huang Shaishan's countenance flashed. He folded hand seals as the devil might in the surroundings gushed towards him, fusing together with the illusory light screen behind him, growing even stronger. "Go!" Huang Shatian pointed out with his finger. Killing intent filled the air as devil might gushed forth. This entire space transformed into a scene of doomsday as countless devil weapons rushed towards Qin Wentian, tyrannical to the extreme. Qin Wentian inclined his head and stared at the sky. All of a sudden, a terrifying devil might gushed forth from him, churning unceasingly. His eyes radiated a tyrannical devil will, like the will of the king of the Devil Islands. "Ha!" Qin Wentian let out a thunderous roar, shaking the heavens and earth. Devil might gushed forth, churning unceasingly. After that, Qin Wentian lifted his palm and blasted it outwards. In an instant, a scene of destruction appeared in this space. The churning devil might seem to have turned chaotic, and was completely enveloped by a gigantic palm imprint. After that, they were all destroyed, causing the entire space to explode as chaotic currents of energy gushed forth in all directions. The two of them are so terrifying. More and more experts paid attention to this battle, including the countless pilgrims at the foot of the Devil Mountain. Before this, many people were already curious about why there would be an internal battle between the experts who came down from the Devil Mountain. After that, they discovered that many of these people were actually from the immortal realms Wuxiu. Up until now, the strength of the two combatants had already reached such an extent, simply shocking the heavens and earth, reaching the peak of their cultivation realm. When the destructive might dissipated, Huang Shatian and Qin Wentian both stopped and stared at each other. Huang Shaishan's eyes were filled with heaviness, while Qin Wentian's eyes were filled with coldness. In the past, he needed to use the power of his bloodline and devilization before he could fight against Huang Shatian in his strongest state. But now, just by relying on his cultivation base, he could already fight against Huang Shatian without losing out. If he used the power of his bloodline, he would instantly gain an absolute advantage. Since he thought of this point, Huang Shatian naturally thought of it as well. This was why his expression was so heavy. After fighting against Qin Wentian 3 times, Qin Wentian grew stronger and stronger each time. This time around, after exiting the inheritance ground of the Saint Devil Hall, Huang Shatian should have been even more terrifying. But this was the first time he didn't have the confidence to win against Qin Wentian. Huang Shatian folded his hands, and at this moment, 9 ancient human emperors appeared. The shadow of the human emperors descended upon him, fusing together with him. At this instant, Huang Shatian seemed to have transformed into a human emperor. The light screen behind him shone with a dazzling brilliance as countless divine weapons fused into one, merging into Huang Shatian. At this moment, his body had become a divine weapon. From Huang Shaishan's body, an ancient human emperor sword radiating devilish might manifested. The heavens and earth split apart as the void shattered. This sword slashed down, wanting to destroy everything. Boom! A supreme might erupted forth from Qin Wentian. His entire body radiated a towering devilish might as he transformed into a devil. He inclined his head, causing the heavens and earth to change. A supreme devilish might gushed forth, causing the speed at which the heaven-opening sword slashed down to slow down. God's hand blasted out. The 8 demons shook the heavens and earth as a vortex enveloped the heavens and earth, wanting to devour the ancient human emperor's sword. However, Huang Shatian didn't seem to have heard it. Boundless energy gathered around him as devil might churned unceasingly. The entire space was filled with an extreme sharpness, and the energy that flowed into his body gradually transformed him into a devil god weapon. In the next instant, Huang Shaishan's silhouette directly vanished from sight. A whistling sound filled the air. Only a supreme devil might and a sharp killing intent could be seen. A beam of destructive light shot through the air, shuttling through the void. Chi! A beam of devilish might descended before Qin Wentian, directly annihilating all existences. An overwhelming sense of danger suddenly descended. If this attack landed, it would be sufficient to kill Qin Wentian. The devil-transformed Qin Wentian exuded a towering devil might. His eyes were deep and black, and at the instant he sensed danger, a supreme will manifested. The will of all the devils in the world seemed to fuse into one as the faint shadow of a supreme devil king manifested. He stared at the incomparably sharp killing sword, as though it was impossible for him to block this attack. He then spat out a single word, "Stop." This sword strike that could cleave apart the heavens and earth actually froze for an instant. The energy contained within this strike was actually being absorbed by the devilized Qin Wentian, flowing towards the devilized Qin Wentian. Die! Huang Shaishan's silhouette drifted over from the void. That attack was none other than Huang Shatian himself. He had already transformed into this supreme devil divine weapon. Stop! Qin Wentian roared once more, akin to the rage of a devil king. He lifted his hand and pointed a finger forward. With this finger, boundless devil might seem to transform into the same attack, blasting towards that all-annihilating attack. Even time seemed to slow down. At this moment, Qin Wentian was like a supreme devil king. The power of God's hand frenziedly gushed forth. He lifted his palm and the 8 demonic beasts howled in rage, transforming into a terrifying vortex that could devour the heavens and earth. The devil might contained within the vortex blasted out, wanting to destroy everything. Rumble, the 2 attacks collided together, causing explosions to unceasingly appear in the air. The attack that was shooting towards Qin Wentian was flung away, landing on the ground and actually transformed into a figure. It was none other than the figure of Huang Shatian. Ooh! A mouthful of fresh blood was coughed out. Huang Shaishan's countenance was as pale as paper. His aura fluctuated intensely, but what was even more intense was the fluctuations in his heart. Defeated. He, Huang Shatian, after the first battle in Tiandao Sacred Academy, returned to the 9 Emperors' immortal state to inherit the supreme ultimate art of the Fallen Devil Island and fought against Qin Wentian for the second time on the Fallen Devil Island. The battle ended in a draw again. This was the 3rd battle and he, Huang Shatian, was defeated. He was truly defeated. He was defeated head-on. Also, this was after he obtained the inheritance of the Devil Mountain. When the 2 alliances saw the ending of this battle, their hearts couldn't calm down. That fellow actually defeated Huang Shatian. In that case, who else in the alliance of the Tenlon Heaven Kingdom would be able to contend against him? Dang! At this moment, the sound of bells ringing rang out as a fearsome baleful aura engulfed the area. Qin Wentian abruptly turned his head, only to see an expert of the White Tiger people taking out a divine weapon and launching an attack at him. The baleful aura of a white tiger rushed over. He instantly took out the demon sword and with a wave of his hand, the demon sword transformed into a gigantic sword that was over 1,000 meters long. The silhouette of a great rock appeared, wanting to destroy everything, blocking in front of him. Kill him. That White Tiger people coldly spoke. If Huang Shatian died, the consequences would be unimaginable. Right now they could only use their divine weapons to join forces and kill Qin Wentian. Huang Shatian stood up. His dim eyes flashed with determination. Since he was already defeated, he could only eliminate Qin Wentian to prevent any future troubles. At this instant, a light screen 10,000 meters wide appeared as the sky changed color. From Huang Shatian, a supreme treasure light gushed forth, capable of annihilating everything. A dazzling brilliance shot out, so dazzling that no one could open their eyes. In that light screen, a peerless Runhuang covered in endless golden celestial light appeared. He was clad in golden armor and held a peerless sword in his hand. Chapter 13:12. How powerful! Great waves of shock rose in the hearts of everyone. Before this, they already felt how terrifying Huang Shaishan's divine weapon was. At this moment, when Huang Shaishan's divine weapon unleashed its might, everyone could clearly feel how terrifying it was. The light caused them to feel a piercing pain in their eyes. When they opened their eyes, they only saw that supreme human emperor wielding a sword that could split heaven and earth apart. A screen of light enveloped this entire space. Everything was under the attack of this divine weapon. Huang Shaishan's will seemed to have fused into the body of the supreme human emperor. His entire body was bathed in the supreme emperor light. Huang Shatian obtained the inheritance of the 9 emperors' immortal state. Among them, this supreme divine weapon was included, an emperor-ranked weapon. The stronger he was, the more terrifying the might of this divine weapon would be. If it was controlled by an immortal emperor, it would truly have the power to split heaven and earth apart. This was a divine weapon used by the founding emperor of the 9 emperors' immortal state, yet it was given to Huang Shatian to use. From this, one could very well imagine how much hope the 9 emperors' immortal state had for Huang Shatian. Clearly, as one of the strongest geniuses of this generation in the immortal realms, Huang Shatian was also one of the most outstanding geniuses in the 9 emperors' immortal state. The empire was nurturing him as the future human emperor. On the Devil Mountain, many devil wills enveloped this space. Even those powerful devil cultivators felt their hearts shaking, sighing at how unexcelled this divine weapon was. Qin Wentian had a heavy expression on his face. Before this, in the sky suspending battlefield in the fallen devil region, he already knew that Huang Shatian had a supreme divine weapon on him. This was the first time Huang Shatian took out this divine weapon. As expected, it was extremely powerful. Busy. A bright light flashed as a treasured cauldron appeared before Qin Wentian. Qin Wentian placed his palm on the surface of the cauldron and instantly, a terrifying demonic might radiated from the cauldron. Boundless light radiated forth as numerous terrifying greater demons surged forth, surrounding the cauldron, covering the sacred luminance within. At the same time, Qin Wentian waved his hand. Instantly, the demon sword transformed into an incomparably gigantic sword. Boundless sword light cascaded downwards, enveloping this entire space. The shadow of a great rock appeared as a screen of sword light blocked everything, isolating immortal and devil senses from prying into it. He would never allow others to see this treasure of his, nor would he allow others to discover the existence of the sacred luminance. Even if he unleashed the might of the treasured cauldron during his battle with Huang Shatian, he would still be able to see what these 2 treasures were. However, he couldn't completely expose them in front of the Devil Mountain. Those powerful devil cultivators on the Devil Mountain weren't trustworthy people. As expected, you also have a powerful treasure. Huang Shatian stared at Qin Wentian as he spoke. You have already lost. Since you have lost, you guys should just admit defeat for this adjudication battle. Qin Wentian spoke to Huang Shatian. My defeat doesn't mean that I have lost the adjudication battle. As long as there's a chance, I will still use all my methods to reverse the situation. If I can kill you, I will definitely do so even if I feel regret after killing you. Huang Shatian coldly spoke. The light from his emperor-ranked weapon engulfed the area, causing the people outside the screen of sword light to retreat frantically. The 2 of them also understood that if they really used such powerful divine weapons to fight to their heart's content, everyone here would die. This wasn't the ending they wanted. Not only were the experts from their side retreating, even the experts from the surroundings of the Devil Mountain were retreating as well. Their hearts trembled. They didn't expect such a heaven-shaking battle to erupt among these people who came down from the Devil Mountain. Whether it was their strength or their divine weapons, both of them had reached a frightening level. Demon sword, seal this place. Qin Wentian spoke. The demon sword expanded once more, transforming into an incomparably terrifying gigantic sword. Sword might cascaded downwards, enveloping this entire space. It was as though the silhouette of a great rock was enveloping this entire space. That unceasing flow of light was extremely resplendent. Since the immortal realms already have me, Huang Shatian, why would they still need you, Qin Wentian, to exist? Huang Shatian stared at Qin Wentian. The killing intent in his eyes was incomparably sharp. He pointed his finger forward and in that instant, the sky changed color. Countless supreme emperor-rank divine weapons blotted out the sky, enveloping this entire space as they shot towards Qin Wentian, wanting to engulf everything. Huang Shaishan's voice had a hint of sorrow in it, as well as a trace of desolation, the desolation of defeat. Naturally, there was also an intense determination in his heart. He wanted Qin Wentian to die. Since the immortal realms already had him, Huang Shatian, there was no need for Qin Wentian. With Qin Wentian, how could there still be a place for him, Huang Shatian? It was rumored that the Tiandao Sacred Academy was a place that produced ancient emperors. If there was only one of them, there would only be one among the two of them. Qin Wentian's palms slammed down towards the cauldron. At this instant, 8 towering greater demons revolved around Qin Wentian. Each of the greater demons transformed into a terrifying 10,000-meter-long body, enveloping this entire space. The spectators far away had already retreated to an extremely far distance. But the moment they inclined their heads, they could see the gigantic shadow of the greater demons, as well as the countless divine weapons. The countless divine weapons destroyed everything, injuring and shattering the greater demons one after another. However, Qin Wentian's palms blasted out again. The 8 greater demons transformed into a terrifying vortex that swept forward, wanting to devour everything. Even the heavens and earth were about to be sucked into this terrifying vortex. Although the space where the two of them fought in was extremely vast, it was still somewhat small when compared to the scene of their battle. That terrifying vortex instantly enveloped the entire space, wanting to devour Huang Shatian and the supreme divine weapons. Only to see Huang Shatian inclined his head. His eyes were cold. He transformed into the human emperor and stretched his hand out, placing it on the hilt of his sword. As he drew it out, a supreme might gushed forth, shaking the heavens and earth. As the sword slashed out, the heavens and earth trembled as the void shattered. Every strand of aura radiating from it was akin to a supreme divine weapon, capable of annihilating everything. This simple action was akin to millions upon millions of divine weapons attacking each other. Terrifying cracks appeared within the vortex, but they were swiftly healed as the vortex continued to devour everything. Countless demonic shadows appeared from within, wanting to devour Huang Shatian. However, at this moment, Huang Shatian was actually extremely calm. He knew what he had in his hands. If even this divine weapon was defeated, only death awaited him. For a character like him, when facing such a battle, he didn't view death at all. He pursued the strongest cultivation base, and in this process, if he was defeated again and again, even if he died, it was only natural. Qin Wentian stared at the fearsome tremors. Back then when he killed the Devil King, such a terrifying scene didn't appear. The all-devouring vortex was actually riddled with cracks, riddled with holes. Peak-level Immortal Foundation experts basically had no way to control such a divine weapon. They could only unleash a small portion of its might, but it was already so terrifying. Slashing out with his sword, Huang Shaishan's body shone with golden light as a supreme armor appeared around him. With the slash of the human emperor sword, the cracks in the vortex frenziedly connected, containing a supreme spatial energy within. After which the terrifying vortex was torn apart and finally, a terrifying explosion rang out as the devouring vortex collapsed. Huang Shatian didn't hesitate to slash out with his sword again. As this sword slashed out, cracks appeared in the space around him as boundless energy gushed towards him. Qin Wentian stood within the cauldron as boundless light circulated around him. His bloodline was activated as he transformed into a descendant of a demon god, unleashing a supreme might. Demonic dragons roared, primordial chaos devoured the sky, great rocks tore apart everything, and divine elephants suppressed the void. Boundless attacks, boundless energy, all collided frenziedly in the air, creating a scene of destruction. Since I'm already defeated, even if I borrow the power of a divine weapon, I will still be defeated. Qin Wentian roared. He actually advanced together with the treasured cauldron. The 8 greater demons opened their mouths as the destructive vortex devoured everything, rushing towards Huang Shatian. Huang Shatian didn't say anything. He was the same as Qin Wentian. It was too taxing for him to control such a divine weapon. Even though his affinity with the weapon was already considered perfect, unless he broke through to the immortal emperor realm one day, it would be impossible for him to truly control this supreme divine weapon. What he could control was only the power of his own energy. This was the iron law of cultivation. All divine weapons had to be controlled by stellar martial cultivators. Huang Shaishan's law energy frenziedly gushed into the human emperor's sword. Space attributed, sword attributed, metal attributed and other supreme offensive attributes were all unleashed. Another sword slashed out. This time it didn't aim at the vortex, nor did it aim at those greater demons. Instead, it shot towards Qin Wentian who was in the treasured cauldron. He wanted to kill Qin Wentian. As long as Qin Wentian died, the person controlling the divine weapon would die. At that time, no matter how strong the divine weapon was, it would be useless. How could Qin Wentian allow Huang Shatian to succeed? The reason why his body was still in the treasured cauldron was because Huang Shaishan's attacks were too terrifying, able to penetrate through space. He naturally had to be on guard. Boom! Another thunderous sound rang out. The runic inscriptions in the treasured cauldron surged unceasingly, revolving to their limits. Wave after wave of attacks ferociously shot out, blocking the human emperor's sword. The sky grew dimmer and dimmer, the vortex grew stronger and stronger, enveloping Huang Shatian and the supreme emperor's sword within it, wanting to trap him within, causing him to be unable to extricate himself. Huang Shatian suddenly sighed when he saw Qin Wentian being protected by the treasured cauldron. Even his strongest divine weapon was unable to break through the defense of the cauldron, and when he glanced at the vortex of destruction, Huang Shatian suddenly sighed. This sigh seemed to penetrate through time and space. He, Huang Shatian, from a young age, grew to have unparalleled talent and was doted on by everyone. He himself was also someone who constantly strived to improve himself and never fell behind his peers. He stood out from the masses and was the one with the highest talent among the younger generation of the 9 emperors' immortal state. He was invincible and was extremely famous even in the central regions of the immortal realms. In the Tiandao Sacred Academy, he was also incomparably glorious. All the way until he met Qin Wentian. Not being able to kill Qin Wentian in the first battle seemed to be the greatest mistake of Huang Shatian. That battle was also the best opportunity for him to kill Qin Wentian. Sadly, he was too careless and missed that battle. After that, he actually couldn't kill Qin Wentian anymore. But now, he actually suffered a crushing defeat. Since the immortal realms already had Huang Shatian, why was there still a need for Qin Wentian? Even now, he was filled with reluctance in his heart. Chapter 13:13. A sense of sorrow radiated from Huang Shatian. Death wasn't something to be afraid of, it was just reluctance in his heart. He had always believed that he would have the accomplishments of an ancient emperor, establishing a new era, becoming the king of this era. This was his goal, his conviction. But now, there was actually a character on the same level as him who could suppress him. Qin Wentian could also sense the sorrow radiating from Huang Shatian. From a certain perspective, Huang Shatian was indeed an opponent worthy of respect. Disregarding all standpoints, only strength mattered. However, since they were born in the same era and became enemies, if they could kill each other, one of them would have to die. If he didn't die, it would be Huang Shatian. There was no need to doubt this point. Hence, Qin Wentian's killing intent didn't weaken in the slightest. He continued his frenzied slaughter. The spectators outside had no way to see the battle clearly. 2 peak-level Immortal Foundation experts with supreme divine weapons in their hands. Their strength has already exceeded the limits of Immortal Foundation and Devil Foundation experts. In fact, even ordinary Devil Kings would be slain by them. Just the radius of their attacks already covered an extremely terrifying area. Enough! At this moment, a thunderous voice thundered through the air. The spectators all felt their bodies trembling violently. After which, they only saw an incomparably gigantic palm imprint of darkness stretching over. This palm blotted out the sun, directly penetrating through the screen of swords, right in the middle of the 2 attacks, cutting off everything in its path. This sky-blotting palm was extremely terrifying. Devil might gushed forth, and with a sudden clench, all the attacks were instantly destroyed. The terrifying energy fluctuations caused Qin Wentian and Huang Shatian to retreat. With a flash of light, Qin Wentian directly kept his treasured cauldron, not wanting to expose it before his opponent. Inclining his head, he stared at the sky. His expression was extremely cold, exuding an icy intent. Evidently, There was an expert on the Devil Mountain who forcefully interfered in the battle between him and Huang Shatian. All of you, go up the Devil Mountain. Qin Wentian's eyes were extremely cold. He coldly spoke, since the Devil Mountain refused to protect my friends and expelled them from the Devil Mountain, this is already going against the will of the myriad Devil Sovereign. Right now, since we are fighting to settle our grudges, Senior is forcefully interfering. I don't understand what you mean by this. The gazes of everyone turned to Qin Wentian, silently musing at how audacious this fellow was. He was a true heaven's chosen, and their guts were also extraordinary. He actually dared to question the experts of the Devil Mountain. Then are you going up or not? The voice of the expert sounded again. He didn't respond to Qin Wentian's words at all. He was still as domineering as ever. Qin Wentian's eyes were extremely cold. Should he go or not? He was already at the foot of the Devil Mountain. How terrifying was the Devil Mountain? If they wanted to destroy him, it would be as easy as flipping their palms. In addition, Bai Qing was currently on the Devil Mountain as well. He still had to ascend the mountain. Qin Wentian basically had no choice. Since he had no choice, Qin Wentian only coldly laughed and didn't say anything else. He walked towards the direction of the Devil Mountain, extremely decisive. In fact, he didn't even glance at Huang Shatian. Clearly, the Devil Mountain wanted to interfere. This time around, it was impossible for him to kill Huang Shatian. Everyone stared at his back, trying to guess what Qin Wentian was thinking. The people from Qin Wentian's alliance followed after Qin Wentian. Their expressions were all extremely unsightly. Qin Wentian's tone clearly indicated that he had the upper hand in the earlier battle. If the battle continued, there was a high possibility that victory or defeat would be decided. At this moment, the expert who expelled them from the Devil Mountain interfered and even wanted them to ascend the Devil Mountain. They were naturally unhappy. Huang Shatian still stood there with a complicated look on his face, filled with disappointment and disappointment. The people from his alliance stared at Huang Shatian. Their hearts were also filled with complicated emotions. From a certain perspective, this adjudication battle was also a battle between Huang Shatian and Qin Wentian. The two of them were simply too powerful, a level higher compared to the others. They were the kings of their respective cultivation realms. Their victory or defeat would directly determine the outcome of the adjudication battle. And Huang Shatian, who had always been unexcelled in the world, was actually defeated today. Qin Wentian and the others once again walked up the stairway leading to the Devil Mountain. There was a clear path ahead. There were no longer any obstructions. Their silhouettes flashed. Their speed was extremely fast as they ascended the Devil Mountain. In the vast space outside the Saint Devil Hall, Qin Wentian and the others descended once again. Those people from Qin Wentian's alliance who were expelled from the Devil Mountain all returned. The eyes of many devil cultivators flashed as the experts from the various devil halls all gathered here. Qin Wentian was the same as Huang Shatian. He exited the Saint Devil Hall after Huang Shatian. In addition, he managed to rush down the mountain in time and brought his friends back. You obtained an inheritance in the sacred ground? An ethereal voice drifted over. Clearly, another expert from the Devil Halls spoke. Qin Wentian inclined his head and stared up in the air as he coldly laughed in his heart. Senior, are you interrogating a criminal? Or could it be that the Devil Mountain has never truly respected the will of the myriad Devil Sovereign? It has always been a lie, wanting to plunder the inheritance of the myriad Devil Sovereign? Impudent! A cold voice rang out, exuding a supreme might, directly descending from the sky, landing on Qin Wentian. Terrifying to the extreme. Qin Wentian suddenly laughed uproariously. His laughter was extremely impudent as he stated, "Did I say something wrong? My friends were all invited here by the apostles of the Devil Mountain, and they all passed the test of the myriad Devil Sovereign. They followed the will of the myriad Devil Sovereign and came to the Devil Mountain. However, because Huang Shatian obtained the inheritance, and because the various devil halls coveted the inheritance on him, they went against the will of the myriad Devil Sovereign and expelled my friends from the Devil Mountain. Is this the respect they have for the myriad Devil Sovereign? As for me, I exited the sacred ground and was questioned. I bathed in the radiance of the myriad Devil Sovereign and now I'm being interrogated like a criminal. Is this the attitude the devil halls of the Devil Mountain have towards the inheritors of the myriad Devil Sovereign? Let me ask you, is there really anyone on the Devil Mountain who respects the myriad devil sovereign? Qin Wentian roared, extremely audacious. Sometimes one needs to be a little more impudent. If you endure, the other party will take a step further, leaving you with no path of retreat. As the sound of his voice rang out, the gazes of countless devil cultivators turned to Qin Wentian. However, the voice in the air suddenly turned silent. The Judiciary Devil Hall is the protector of the will of the myriad devil sovereign, controlling order and ruling everything. Now, is this what you mean by protecting the will of the myriad devil sovereign? Qin Wentian continued. Even if you obtain the inheritance of one of the devil halls, you don't have the qualifications to be so arrogant. You are ultimately just a junior who ascended the Devil Mountain. Even if I really kill you, would the myriad devil sovereign blame me? A cold voice rang out, originating from the darkness Devil Hall. I left a strand of my immortal sense in the immortal realms. If the Devil Mountain wants to kill me, this means that the Devil Halls on the Devil Mountain are the true traitors, going against the will of the myriad devil sovereign. I naturally have to protect the inheritance of the myriad devil sovereign from falling into the hands of the traitors. I will spread the inheritance to every corner of the immortal realms, letting the immortal realms come and kill the traitors. Qin Wentian's voice was cold and domineering. Impudent! How dare you? Numerous cold voices rang out at the same time. If we kill you now, your immortal sense would dissipate. You are courting death. Qin Wentian's arrogant words clearly angered these major characters. Several of them spoke at the same time. Is that so? How do you all know that I don't have an avatar? There are many avatar techniques in the immortal realms, and some of the more powerful ones can survive even if the true body dies. It's extremely easy to kill me. However, do you all know which Devil Hall's inheritance I obtained? If the inheritance of the myriad devil sovereign is spread throughout the immortal realms, what would happen? Would the Devil Mountain still be the Devil Mountain? Qin Wentian roared, as though he wasn't afraid of death. As the sound of his voice rang out, the hearts of the major characters from the Devil Mountain trembled. You dare to threaten the Devil Mountain? Wanting to spread the inheritance of our Devil Mountain? A cold voice rang out once more. What a joke. The Devil Halls on the Devil Mountain are already prepared to betray the will of the myriad devil sovereign time and time again. What face do you all have to say that the inheritance of the myriad devil sovereign belongs to you all? It should be whoever obtained the inheritance would be the true inheritor of the will of the myriad devil sovereign. In that case, let me ask you, are you willing to stay on the Devil Mountain to cultivate? Another voice rang out. But this time around there seemed to be some compromise. I'm not willing. Qin Wentian directly replied. Since you aren't willing to stay on the Devil Mountain to cultivate, tell us what inheritance you obtained exactly. Another voice rang out. Or do you want to plunder? I obtained the inheritance of the myriad devil sovereign. Is there a need for me to tell you? All the devil halls on the Devil Mountain are already above the will of the myriad devil sovereign. Qin Wentian laughed. What do you want then? They didn't expect a junior to be so difficult to deal with. How audacious. He actually dared to openly challenge the prestige of the devil halls. Completely lawless. I can't even see him. I want to ask everyone, what do you all want to do to me? It's not what I want to do. Qin Wentian quietly stood there. No matter what the other party said, he wouldn't budge. If he gave in so easily, he might not even be able to leave the Devil Mountain alive. Silence filled the air. This Qin Wentian was brazen, unmoved by force or persuasion. The cold eyes of those devil cultivators all stared at Qin Wentian. This was the first time someone dared to challenge the prestige of the Devil Mountain. Also, this person was just a junior. Qin Wentian directly closed his eyes. Since they chose to remain silent, let them remain silent then. Devil might fluctuated in the air. After that, several experts appeared in the air. They soared through the air, like unexcelled hegemons. Every step they took contained an unexcelled might as they walked towards Qin Wentian. Qin Wentian still had his eyes closed. He knew that these people have arrived. His purpose was to make them come out. These experts descended, standing in the region where Qin Wentian was at. After that, Wu Xiu from the devil sects all bowed. Clearly, the statuses of these people were extraordinary. Chapter 13-14. A powerful devil cultivator walked to Qin Wentian and spoke. Now can you speak? Qin Wentian opened his eyes and stared at the experts before him. He smiled. May I know the identities of seniors? I am the Devil Lord of the Darkness Devil Hall. The expert before him exuded an extremely terrifying aura. The Devil Lord was the level after the Child of Darkness ascended. He was someone who truly had terrifying authority. With a single command from him, the entire Darkness Devil Hall would tremble. If he was angered, he could even cause the entire myriad Devil Islands to tremble. Grand Priest of the Judiciary Hall. A terrifying figure clad in blood-colored robes of the Judiciary Priest faintly spoke. His robes were even more luxurious compared to Bai Qing's. The status of the Judiciary Grand Priest was naturally above the Judiciary Priest. The people here were all lofty characters. If not, how could they have the qualifications to expel Qin Wentian's friends from the Devil Mountain? From a certain perspective, if the wills of these people were combined together, they would be able to represent the will of the Devil Mountain to a certain extent. The other experts who appeared were all characters with towering authority from the various Devil Halls. They were all like the Grand Priest of the Judiciary Hall and the Devil Lord. Qin Wentian stared at these people before him and suddenly laughed, as though he was mocking them. Are you seniors the ones who gave the order to go against the will of the myriad Devil Sovereign and expel my friends from the Devil Mountain? You asked us to come out just to ask this? The Darkness Devil Lord stared at Qin Wentian. Just a single gaze from him would cause people to feel fear. Naturally not. I asked all of you to come out because I want to ask if those who went against the will of the myriad Devil Sovereign and expelled my friends from the Devil Mountain should give me an explanation? Qin Wentian spoke. A terrifying pressure bore down on Qin Wentian. Numerous experts stared at Qin Wentian. This fellow was truly crazy. He actually wanted the Darkness Devil Lord and the Grand Priest to give him an explanation? You are truly audacious. The Darkness Devil Lord coldly spoke. In the entire Devil Mountain, there weren't many who dared to make him give an explanation. It's not that Junior is very gutsy. It's just that Junior feels that since this is the Devil Mountain, since Senior made a mistake and went against the will of the myriad Devil Sovereign, you should be brave enough to admit it. If not, Junior wouldn't be able to ascertain if all of you have betrayed the myriad Devil Sovereign or not. As for the matter of me obtaining the inheritance, I truly don't dare to account for it. Qin Wentian bowed, appearing extremely polite. However, this politeness could be said to be monstrously bold. Qin Wentian wanted the supreme experts of the Devil Mountain to give him an explanation. He was using the inheritance to threaten them. What kind of explanation do you want? The Great Priest of Judgment asked. As the judge of the will of the myriad Devil Sovereign, the Judiciary Devil Hall naturally knows that I don't need an explanation. In fact, the will of the myriad Devil Sovereign has to be respected. Qin Wentian calmly spoke. Even when facing these supreme experts, he was still able to maintain such calmness. One couldn't help but to admire the courage of this fellow. Huang Shatian isn't willing to stay on the Devil Mountain to cultivate. In order for the inheritance of the myriad Devil Sovereign to remain here, what's wrong with sacrificing some? Even if I have to go against the will of the myriad Devil Sovereign, as the Grand Priest of the Judiciary Devil Hall, I, as the Grand Priest of the Judiciary Devil Hall, am willing to bear the consequences. I don't feel that there's anything wrong with this. If you also obtained an inheritance that has never existed before and are willing to hand it over to the Devil Mountain, you can also state your conditions. The Grand Priest spoke. How selfless! A mocking smile appeared on Qin Wentian's face. To be able to sacrifice his allies so easily, if it wasn't for the fact that he had the inheritance of the Holy Lands in his body, these supreme characters wouldn't even bother to speak to him. They might even kill him directly. It's just that since seniors feel that it's not wrong for you to go against the will of the myriad Devil Sovereign for the sake of the Devil Mountain, I only see the myriad Devil Sovereigns will being tossed aside and trampled on as you wish. Since this is the case, please forgive this junior for not trusting all of you. Seniors, you can also kill me for the sake of the Devil Mountain and seize my inheritance, right? Qin Wentian mocked. Clearly, Qin Wentian had no intentions of compromising. Even at this moment, no one was able to find out what exactly he obtained from the myriad Devil Sovereign. Or could it be that he didn't obtain anything at all and was just bluffing? A stalemate. The supreme experts of the Devil Hall and Qin Wentian actually stood there in a stalemate. A junior actually acted so domineeringly before these supreme experts, not knowing how to compromise at all. The right to speak requires strength. If you obtain the inheritance of the myriad Devil's sovereign, I will get them to apologize to your friend. Just at this moment, an ethereal voice rang out in the air. This voice was ethereal, yet when it rang out, it contained an inviolable will. It was like his voice was a decree. If he wanted these supreme experts to apologize, they would have to apologize. Qin Wentian frowned as he turned his gaze to the air. You should know that these people are the Grand Priest of the Judiciary Hall and the Darkness Devil Lord. They are all experts who obtained inheritances before. Even if you obtain the inheritance, it doesn't mean that your status is higher compared to them. You are still just a junior. That voice rang out once more. Qin Wentian understood what the other party meant. Even if he obtained the inheritance, his status was still inferior to the Grand Priest of the Judiciary Hall and the Darkness Devil Lord. However, the other party was willing to make these people apologize to him and compromise. It wasn't because his status would change after he obtained the inheritance. The other party only wanted to tell him that even if he wanted to pay respect to the myriad Devil Sovereign, he had to have sufficient talent and strength first. Qin Wentian saw the changes in the expressions of the Grand Priest of the Judiciary Hall and the Darkness Devil Lord. Although it was very difficult to sense it, he could still sense it. He understood that the person who spoke had a very high possibility of being a supreme character from one of the Devil Halls. He laughed. You all can choose a disciple to come and test it out. The Grand Priest of the Judiciary Hall turned his head, only to see the priest who appeared together with Bai Qing earlier walking out. He coldly stared at Qin Wentian as killing intent flickered in his eyes. Qin Wentian frowned as a cold intent flashed in his heart. In the next instant, devil might gushed forth from the priest as a blood-colored judgment spear appeared. With a wave of his hand, numerous blood-colored spears shot towards Qin Wentian. Rumble! Devil might gushed forth from Qin Wentian, causing the heavens and earth to churn. His eyes were terrifying to the extreme as the devil chi in the surroundings gushed towards him. His body seemed to have transformed into a black hole, frenziedly gathering devil might. Break! With a loud roar, the blood-colored judgment spears shattered into pieces. However, the Grand Priest of the Judiciary Hall stepped out, directly appearing before Qin Wentian. Boundless judgment light cascaded down from him, containing an incomparably fearsome will of judgment, blotting out the sky, enveloping everything, including Qin Wentian. Rumble! In the void, numerous bolts of blood-colored lightning flashed as scenes of destruction appeared. This place was like a purgatory of blood. The judgment spears were like bolts of lightning, wreaking havoc in this space. This was the true power of judgment, able to judge life and death, to judge fate. That Grand Priest of the Judiciary Hall was bathed in this destructive storm of judgment. He coldly stared at Qin Wentian and spat out two words, judgment. As the sound of his voice faded, the boundless judgment storm gushed forth, engulfing everything as it rushed towards Qin Wentian. That entire space transformed into a blood-colored space of judgment. Everything was under judgment. Qin Wentian inclined his head. The devil might radiating from him was still as majestic as before. With a loud roar, his body instantly devoured all the devil energy, including the judgment energy. A terrifying devil will manifest it, erupting forth from his eyes. At this moment, the frenzied attack of judgment seemed to have halted, as though it was about to be frozen in this space. Rumble! Qin Wentian stepped out in the air. This step caused the heart of that Grand Priest of the Judiciary Hall to tremble. Right now, Qin Wentian was simply unexcelled in the world. Everything in the world had to submit to him. With Qin Wentian as the center, countless terrifying devil runes floated in the air. These runes were the strongest of the devil path. At this instant, even the judgment energy seemed to have stopped. That Grand Priest of the Judiciary Hall roared in rage, but it was as though he couldn't block that terrifying might. Go! Qin Wentian lifted his palms and blasted out. At this instant, all the devil energy in the world was under Qin Wentian's control. The terrifying judgment energy gushed forth, aiming for that powerful Grand Priest of the Judiciary Hall, wanting to destroy the world in an instant. Arc Eyes of everyone flashed with shock as they stared at Qin Wentian. Judgment. He actually controlled the power of judgment and used it to kill the judgment priest. This was simply inconceivable. This was a power that the Devil Mountain had never possessed before. This was a brand new power. Qin Wentian was the same as Huang Shatian. This time around, two brand new inheritances actually appeared. As the devil might dissipated, Qin Wentian's silhouette remained floating in the air. Huang Shatian stared at the silhouette of Qin Wentian as he sighed in his heart. Before this, when they fought, Qin Wentian seemed to have faintly used this power as well, but it wasn't fully unleashed yet. The strength of this power was definitely not weaker than the inheritance he obtained. In fact, it might even be stronger. Apologize. A voice pierced through the air, directly descending on the Devil Mountain. That voice was filled with unquestionable authority. At this instant, the expressions of the Grand Priest and the Darkness Devil Lord changed. But when they thought of the owner of the voice, the Grand Priest stared at Qin Wentian and the others. Banishing you guys from the Devil Mountain is my fault. As he spoke, his eyes twitched. As the Grand Priest of the Judiciary Hall, he actually apologized to a junior. I was wrong. The Darkness Devil Lord's expression was extremely ugly to behold as he spoke. The supreme characters who participated in the banishment all apologized one after another. This was unprecedented on the Devil Mountain. You can freely cultivate on the Devil Mountain. If you are willing to stay, you can head to the Supreme Devil Halls and seek guidance from them. If you choose to leave, no one is allowed to obstruct you. That voice rang out once more, containing an unquestionable tone. This time around, even Qin Wentian had a look of bewilderment on his face. Chapter 13:15. This voice rang out, shaking the entire Devil Mountain. Characters like the Grand Priest and Darkness Devil Lord were here. Yet this voice from the void actually dared to order them to apologize. From this, one could see how high the status of this person was. Above the Grand Priest and Darkness Devil Lord, there were only a handful of people on the entire Devil Mountain. In fact, there might even be some supreme hegemon characters who sat on the throne of the Saint Devil Hall. With such a character giving the order, the Devil Mountain couldn't make things difficult for Qin Wentian. In addition, he could head to any of the Devil Halls to cultivate and could also leave the Devil Mountain. No one was allowed to obstruct him. Such a privilege, his status had long surpassed the Judiciary Priestess and the Child of Darkness. Even if he obtained the inheritance from the Saint Devil Hall, this shouldn't be the case, right? Unless the inheritance he obtained in the Saint Devil Hall had something to do with the myriad Devil Sovereign. When they thought of this, the hearts of everyone trembled as they stared deeply at Qin Wentian. Even the Grand Priest and the others were staring at Qin Wentian with complicated looks on their faces. As for the conflict between the two of you, since you are on the Devil Mountain, you still have to abide by some of the rules of the Devil Mountain. After you leave the Devil Mountain, you can do whatever you want. The Devil Mountain will not interfere. The voice rang out once more, clearly referring to Qin Wentian and Huang Shatian. Qin Wentian's eyes flashed. He glanced at Huang Shatian and nodded lightly. Since a supreme existence from the Devil Mountain has already spoken to this extent, he naturally wouldn't insist on it. Before this, he had already prepared for the worst. However, the words of this supreme existence seemed to have resolved many dangers. In this case, the Devil Mountain would no longer have any restrictions on him. Junior will naturally obey Senior's words. Qin Wentian politely spoke. Everyone just disperse. The conflict between the sacred grounds has never stopped. How ridiculous. That voice was filled with a sense of imposingness. An intense storm seemed to have been settled at this moment. A supreme expert of the Devil Mountain spoke, and with just a few words, he was able to settle everything. This was what it meant to have supreme authority and status. Huang Shatian, come with us. The great priest of judgment said to Huang Shatian. They had already done what Huang Shatian asked them to do, and even offended Qin Wentian. It would have been fine if it had been in the past, but now it seemed that Qin Wentian's status had become different. He had even alarmed that existence. In that case, no one on Devil Mountain would be able to touch Qin Wentian anymore. Huang Shatian calmly nodded his head. There was no expression on his face. It was impossible for him to break his promise. Casting a deep glance at Qin Wentian, Huang Shatian turned and left. A faint sense of desolation could be felt from him. But as he left, that desolation transformed into determination. He still had a chance. As long as he could break through to the immortal king realm first, he wouldn't have lost. Huang Shatian left. The experts from his alliance all had gloomy expressions on their faces. Qin Wentian coldly glanced at them and spoke to his allies. There are still a few more years. Everyone should cultivate well during this period of time. When the time comes, we will head to the Fallen Devil region together. Right. The crowd nodded. Right now, Qin Wentian could already suppress Huang Shatian. They were even more confident in this adjudication battle. Brother Qin, as expected of a genius on the same level as me. You can even turn the tables in such a situation. Awesome. Bujia walked up and praised. Naturally, he also praised himself. Qin Wentian glared at him. In the next few years, I still want to cultivate on the Devil Mountain. I will also pay a visit to the myriad ancient Devil Hall. Okay, you can come anytime. I will protect you. Bujia patted his chest and guaranteed. I will make a trip to the Judiciary Devil Hall first. Qin Wentian spoke. The 3 years deadline hasn't arrived yet. Little Lass Bai Qing should still be locked up in the Blood Devil Cliff. He naturally had to head there. With a flash of his silhouette, Qin Wentian left alone, heading in the direction of the Judiciary Devil Hall. The Judiciary Devil Hall was incomparably imposing. Upon entering, there were many devil cultivators in blood-colored robes, exuding an intense killing intent. Junior Qin Wentian is here to pay a visit to the Judiciary Devil Hall. Qin Wentian spoke. From within the Judiciary Devil Hall, an expert walked out. This person was clad in the blood-colored robe of the Judiciary Devil Hall. He was also one of the Judiciary Devil Hall, and was a Devil King-level priest. This priest walked towards Qin Wentian. Earlier, that voice gave the order for Qin Wentian to head to any of the Devil Halls. This naturally included the Judiciary Devil Hall. Brother Qin, I wonder if there is anything I can help you with? The Judiciary Devil Hall asked. I want to go to the Blood Devil Cliff. Qin Wentian directly replied. Right. That priest nodded. Brother Qin, follow me. As he spoke, he directly turned and led the way. Qin Wentian followed him, entering the depths of the Judiciary Devil Hall. Just like what he had expected, there was a completely different world within the Judiciary Devil Hall. After passing through the gate to the void, they actually came to another independent space. This place no longer resembled a devil hall. It was more like a city. As one of the 7 devil halls at the peak of the Devil Mountain, and the Judiciary Devil Hall was born together with the Saint Devil Hall, how many experts would there be? Generations after generations, how many juniors would there be? This vast space before them was the true Judiciary Devil Hall. This way, that priest was extremely polite. Qin Wentian guessed that this might have something to do with the words spoken by the owner of the voice in the void. The identity of that person must be extremely terrifying, to the extent that even a Devil King-level priest would be so polite to him, leading the way. Although Priestess Bai Qing is in seclusion for 3 years, the Blood Devil Cliff is also a cultivation ground for our Judiciary Devil Hall. It can aid in raising one's strength. Every generation of priests of our Judiciary Devil Hall would experience the Blood Devil Cliff as well. In fact, even the disciples of the other halls would have such an opportunity. The Devil King priest slowly spoke. He brought Qin Wentian to a place guarded by powerful judiciary guards. Ahead of them there was a cliff, and at the edge of the cliff, there seemed to be a spatial gate that led to the exit. That place is the Blood Devil Cliff. I will follow you there. The Devil King priest spoke. Qin Wentian nodded. After that, the two of them stepped out together, directly passing through the void gate. In the next instant, Qin Wentian came to a place where devil might ravaged the area. The devil chi here was extremely violent and uncontrollable, exuding a sense of evil. This was an incomparably dilapidated city that seemed to have no boundaries. From afar, a terrifying devilish might could be sensed approaching. After that, a devil cultivator with disheveled hair appeared, exuding a violent blood chi. Qin Wentian furrowed his brows. This devil cultivator didn't seem normal at all. What sort of place is the Blood Devil Cliff exactly? Qin Wentian asked. There are some devil cultivators who failed to cultivate devil arts and lost their rationality. as well as some experts who violated the rules of the Judiciary Devil Hall. All of them are imprisoned in this Blood Devil Cliff. The Devil King priest spoke. His devil sense gushed out, enveloping this boundless space. In other words, most of the devil cultivators here are crazy and abnormal. This is a place where the Judiciary Devil Hall imprisons criminals. Qin Wentian's countenance turned cold. You should know what sort of place the Judiciary Devil Hall is. The Judiciary Devil Hall is in charge of adjudication. There are naturally many dark places. The Devil King priest calmly spoke. Qin Wentian actually had nothing to say in reply. He knew that the words of the Devil King were right. The Judiciary Devil Hall is in charge of adjudication. There would definitely be many dark places. In fact, they would even imprison criminals in a separate dimension, using them for tempering themselves. That little lass Bai Qing was actually thrown into such a place. No wonder Bai Qing was so cold in front of outsiders, like a cold-hearted devil cultivator. Because she was the priestess of the Judiciary Devil Hall. During these years she must have experienced too much. Let's quickly search for her. Qin Wentian spoke. At this moment the devil cultivator actually lunged towards them. Qin Wentian lifted his hand and unleashed God's hand, directly killing the devil cultivator. The Devil King priest nodded. The two of them stood in the air and flew forward. On their way they encountered many evil cultivators, but they either ignored them or directly killed them. Found her. At this moment the Devil King priest spoke. After that, he flew towards a direction. Over there, Bai Qing's robes were extremely messy and there were even traces of blood on them. Her beautiful countenance was extremely pale, yet her countenance was extremely cold. All of a sudden she sensed something. She turned and fled madly. Bai Qing, it's me. A voice drifted over. Bai Qing halted her steps as her brows furrowed. Priest? Why would he be here? An instant later two figures appeared. Bai Qing saw Qin Wentian who was beside the Devil King priest. The coldness on her face instantly vanished, replaced by panic. She hurriedly tidied up her messy robes and long hair. Little lass Bai Qing. Qin Wentian's silhouette flickered as he appeared before Bai Qing. He embraced her and patted her shoulder. Little lass Bai Qing, are you all right? Bai Qing blinked her beautiful eyes, as though she was still in a daze. When she heard Qin Wentian's question, she didn't even react. Only when Qin Wentian released her did a faint blush appeared on her face. A radiant smile appeared on her pale face as she shook her head. Wentian Gij, I'm fine. The Devil King priest who was standing behind had a strange look in his eyes when he saw this scene. He had already known Priestess Bai Qing for many years. This cold-faced priestess actually had such a side to her? Right now, she exuded the naivety of a young girl. How could she be the all-powerful priestess? If there's nothing else, I will leave first. Priestess Bai Qing should know the way out. Everyone here are Devil Foundation sinners. Brother Qin should be able to handle them. The Devil King priest spoke in a light voice, tactfully preparing to leave. Can she leave now? Qin Wentian asked. If Brother Qin wants to bring Priestess Bai Qing out, I believe the Grand Priest wouldn't say anything since there's only a short period of confinement left. The Devil King priest's silhouette flickered as he departed. Bai Qing's beautiful eyes stared at his departing back before turning to Qin Wentian. She still didn't understand what was going on. How did her Wentian Gij enter this place? Chapter 13:16. This Blood Devil Cliff was a place where criminals were imprisoned. This space was originally within the inner world of the Judiciary Devil Hall. Outsiders basically had no way to enter here, let alone the fact that the Grand Priest was the one leading him here. Also, earlier when the Devil King priest left, he even said that even if she left the Blood Devil Cliff now, the Grand Priest wouldn't have any objections. This caused a curious light to flash in Qinger's eyes as she stared unblinkingly at Qin Wentian. Wentian Gij, how did you do it? Qinger gently asked. Are you referring to the Judiciary Devil Hall? Naturally, I directly walked in. Qin Wentian laughed. Qinger's lips twitched as she rolled her eyes at Qin Wentian. Stop bragging. Haha, Qinger, what sort of character is your Wentian Gij? Is there anything I can't do? Qin Wentian's lips curled up. He rubbed Qinger's head as he joked complacently. Qinger was a little dazed when she saw the look on Qin Wentian's face. After that she started giggling. This scene reminded her of when she was young. She still remembered that when she was young, she was filled with admiration for her Wenti and Gidge. Sadly, her elder sister didn't believe in her Wenti and Gidge and chose the Yi clan. If not, Wenti and Gidge would already be her brother-in-law. Wenti and Gidge, let's go out and talk. Ching'er hugged Qin Wentian's arm as she smiled. Just like when she was young, she liked to hang around him and play with him. Qin Wentian nodded. This little lash Qing truly didn't change at all. The two of them soared into the air. From Qin Wentian, a terrifying devil might gushed forth, causing many devil cultivators to not dare to get close. Only those devil cultivators who had lost their rationality disregarded everything and tried to kill their way over. However, they were all crushed by Qin Wentian. Staring at Qin Wentian's strength, Ching'er smiled happily. As expected, there was nothing her Wenti and Gidge couldn't do. Back then in the Tiandao Sacred Academy, she could still do something for Qin Wentian. But now, her Wenti and Gidge could protect her again. Ching'er, I was looking for you at the Devil's Statue Cliff, but I couldn't find you. How did you become the Judgment Priestess? Qin Wentian asked curiously. I have no idea as well. Back then at the Devil's Statue Cliff, I accidentally barged into an altar and was chosen by the Judgment Energy. After that, I learned that the Judiciary Devil Hall on the Devil Mountain of the Myriad Devil Islands had set up altars similar to the one on the Devil's Statue Cliff in many particle worlds. Their altars were able to transmit their wills and directly choose Wuxiu who was the most suitable to inherit the position of the Judiciary Priest. Ching'er casually guessed. What about you? During this period of time when I was in seclusion, what happened when you entered the Saint Devil Hall? Could it be that you also obtained the inheritance of the Judiciary Devil Hall, and was highly regarded by the Judiciary Devil Hall, allowing you to enter this place? If that's the case, wouldn't you also become the Judiciary Priestess in the future? Ching'er casually guessed. What about you, Wenti and Gidge? During this period of time when Ching'er was in seclusion, what happened when you entered the Saint Devil Hall? Could it be that you also obtained the inheritance of the Judiciary Devil Hall, and was highly regarded by them, allowing you to enter this place? If that's the case, wouldn't you also become a Judiciary Priestess in the future? Ching'er casually guessed. Qin Wentian shrugged. Inheritance of the Judiciary Devil Hall? Aren't you underestimating me a little too much? Ching'er's beautiful eyes flashed, staring at the complacent look on Qin Wentian's face. She giggled. How many inheritances did you obtain from the Judiciary Devil Hall? No. Qin Wentian shook his head. He glanced at Qing who was beside him as he smiled. I think I obtained the inheritance of the Myriad Devil Sovereign. As he spoke, Qin Wentian rubbed his nose, that look of complacency on his face. Ching'er's beautiful eyes froze there as she asked in disbelief, really? There should be no mistake. Qin Wentian smiled as he stared ahead. Ching'er called out in surprise, her hands covering her mouth as she stared at Qin Wentian's face. A radiant smile appeared on her noble and beautiful face. Wentian Gidge is truly awesome. To think that he actually obtained the inheritance of the Myriad Devil Sovereign. In that case, Wentian Gidge has a chance to become the Devil Mountain Lord. Ching'er mumbled. Qin Wentian's eyes flashed as he asked, Ching'er, does the Myriad Devil Sovereign really exist? If he does, is he on the Devil Mountain? I don't know. Ching'er shook her head. The Myriad Devil Sovereign definitely exists. If not, the Devil Mountain wouldn't have been able to remain stable for so many years. All the Devil Halls would have long crumbled. The 6 halls at the peak of the mountain all have their own plans. I believe that if it wasn't for the true reverence in their hearts, the Devil Mountain would have long collapsed. Qin Wentian nodded his head lightly. He also agreed with this point. The Devil Mountain was known as the Myriad Devil Hall. Other than the Saint Devil Hall, there were 6 other halls at the peak of the Devil Mountain, each with their own king. It wasn't that harmonious, but all of them obediently stayed on the mountain. None of them dared to rebel. In addition, through countless years, they had been compromising with each other. Clearly, there was someone they truly revered. For this person, other than the Myriad Devil Sovereign, there wouldn't be a second one. If there was a second person like this, that person would be the Myriad Devil Sovereign. However, I've never heard of the Myriad Devil Sovereign appearing before. There's only a single Saint Devil Hall that has always stood there, containing the inheritances of the various Devil Halls. All the devil halls on the Devil Mountain originated from that sacred ground. There's always been a rumor that if someone obtained the inheritance of the myriad devil sovereign, that person would be the successor of the devil sovereign and would have a chance to rule the Devil Mountain, becoming the next devil sovereign. Qing slowly spoke. She stared at Qin Wentian. If this is true, in that case, Wentian Gij, you have a chance to become the next devil sovereign. Devil sovereign? Qin Wentian's eyes flashed. He didn't think of this before. After obtaining the inheritance, he knew that he would face a crisis in the future. Luckily, there was a supreme existence who spoke up for him, resolving the crisis. Seems like that supreme existence who didn't show himself might know even more details. He wondered what it meant for him to obtain the inheritance of the myriad devil sovereign. However, Qin Wentian couldn't be bothered to think too much about it. He would first cultivate on the Devil Mountain for a few years before returning to the immortal realms. As for the inheritance of the myriad devil sovereign, that would be something to consider in the future. The him now was still far from being qualified. Little Lash Qing, I will tell you everything that happened on the Devil Mountain. Help me analyze who that supreme existence is. Qin Wentian spoke as he told Bai Qing about the conflict outside the sacred ground of the Devil Mountain. Bai Qing's beautiful eyes flashed with a light of contemplation. After that, she replied, it should be a supreme existence sitting on the throne of the Devil Hall. If I'm guessing, it should be that supreme existence on the judiciary throne. Judiciary Hall Lord? Qin Wentian's eyes flashed. Earlier when that voice rang out, it was indeed the Grand Priest who apologized first. From this angle, Bai Qing's guess might be right. The only person who could make the Grand Priest of the Judiciary Hall submit to him was that supreme existence on the judiciary throne. Also, this supreme existence was able to intimidate supreme existences from the various devil halls. For example, the Devil Lord of the Darkness Devil Hall. This indicated that the authority of this supreme existence could even threaten the other devil halls. The supreme existence on the judiciary throne had such towering authority. He was in charge of judgment, and if those people didn't submit, he could directly issue an order. Nobody on the myriad devil islands would dare to defy him. Since he said that you can head to the various devil halls to cultivate, the various devil halls have to cooperate with you. In that case, wouldn't I be teaching Wentian Gij the judgment arts as well? Bai Qing's beautiful eyes suddenly flashed with a bright light. Forget it, I've already implicated you and brought you here. Qin Wentian shook his head. There's no way to impart the inheritance of the myriad devil sovereign. It's a direct body-infused inheritance. If not, I can teach it to you. Don't worry, we've already guessed that the supreme existence is the supreme existence on the judiciary throne. In that case, the closer our relationship is, the happier the judiciary devil hall would be. In the future, if you really become the controller of the Devil Mountain, wouldn't that be the ending the judiciary devil hall wants to see? Bai Qing smiled. Qin Wentian stared at her. This little lass Bai Qing still had a carefree appearance in front of him, but in reality, she was already extremely intelligent. As the two of them spoke, they unknowingly arrived at the exit of the Blood Devil Cliff. Bai Qing used a unique method to bring Qin Wentian out of this space. Returning to the inner world of the Judiciary Devil Hall, the Devil King Priest was still waiting for them outside. When he saw Qin Wentian coming out, he couldn't help but to smile. Priest Bai Qing, earlier the Grand Priest sent out an order. If Qin Wentian has any needs in the Judiciary Devil Hall, you will be in charge of it. You can also assist him in his cultivation. I obey the Grand Priest's order. Bai Qing bowed. Brother Qin, since Bai Qing is here to take care of you, I won't participate in this. Farewell. The Devil King Priest sped away. Bai Qing stared at his back as her smile grew even more radiant. Wentian Gij, seems like the last trace of doubt in our hearts has been cleared by someone. Qin Wentian's eyes flashed. Seems like the Judiciary Devil Hall wanted to salvage their relationship with him, wanting to be friends with him. Qin Wentian didn't believe that this was merely because he obtained the inheritance of the Myriad Devil Sovereign. Maybe it was just like what Bai Qing said, the Myriad Devil Sovereign really did exist. At the very least, his will must exist on the Devil Mountain, allowing the Devil Mountain to operate according to the established rules. Wentian Gij, let's go and cultivate together. I will bring you to see some of the more powerful innate techniques of our Judiciary Devil Hall before I teach you everything I know. Bai Qing pulled Qin Wentian and left. Qin Wentian bitterly smiled as he shook his head. This little lass was even more anxious than him. Qin Wentian followed after by Qing. After that, he began a period of cultivation in the Judiciary Devil Hall, allowing Bai Qing to guide him. A year later, he walked out from the Judiciary Devil Hall and headed to the other Devil Halls. No one dared to obstruct him. However, the Apostle Devil Hall was extremely mysterious and wasn't suitable for him. The Darkness Devil Hall was secretive and didn't seem to welcome Wu Xiao of the Immortal Realms. As for the Sky Devil Hall, Qin Wentian discovered that their techniques were inferior to the Judiciary Devil Hall. That devil cultivator had been hiding from him and didn't appear at all. In the Imperial Dragon Devil Hall, when Yulong Shengtu saw Qin Wentian appearing in the Devil Hall, he was in and was being guided by an expert to look at the ancient records of his hall. His countenance was as unsightly as it could be. Right now, even on the Devil Mountain, his status as Yulong Shengtu was far inferior to Qin Wentian. How lamentable was this? The hatred he felt for Qin Wentian, most probably, he would never be able to take revenge for it. The Myriad Ancient Devil Hall was very friendly to Qin Wentian. It was just that Qin Wentian discovered that he wasn't suitable for the innate techniques there. Yet, Bujia was worshipped by the Myriad Ancient Devil Hall. Most probably, he was extremely suitable for the inheritance of the Myriad Ancient Devil Hall. Chapter 13:17. Spring passed and autumn arrived. Cultivation on the Devil Mountain was timeless. It was unknown when Huang Shatian and the others had already silently left the mountain. When Qin Wentian's alliance discovered this, Huang Shatian and the others had already retreated. Most probably, the people of Huang Shaishan's alliance understood that if they waited for Qin Wentian to leave the mountain together, they would have no chance to win against Qin Wentian. On this mountain, the judiciary priestess Bai Qing and the monk Bujia seemed to be standing on Qin Wentian's side. After leaving the mountain, Huang Shatian and the others would definitely think of other methods to ambush Qin Wentian, and the others when they exited the Myriad Devil Islands. After all, other than the 100 participants of the adjudication battle, Huang Shaishan's alliance had many other experts as well. In terms of numbers, they had the advantage. As long as everyone gathered together, their chances would still be very high. Naturally, Qin Wentian didn't feel that they could rely on themselves to win this battle. One mustn't forget that the adjudication battle could be won using any methods, and Qin Wentian had already made his preparations since a long time ago. As the 10 years passed, Qin Wentian's cultivation base grew deeper and deeper. He who was already at the peak stage of Immortal Foundation, his next goal was the Immortal King Realm. Hence there wouldn't be any more obvious breakthroughs. But at his current level, his comprehension of law energy grew more and more important. Such improvements would only be manifested during combat, and wouldn't be visible during normal times. Wentian Gich, are you really going to leave? In the Judiciary Devil Hall, Bai Qing stared at Qin Wentian, feeling some reluctance in her heart. As a devil cultivator and a priestess of the Judiciary Devil Hall, it was impossible for her to leave the Devil Mountain and head to the Immortal Realms. After Qin Wentian left, she didn't know when they would meet again. The 10-year deadline for the adjudication battle is almost up. This battle has to come to an end eventually. However, now that I have the freedom to enter and leave the Devil Mountain, if there's a chance in the future, I can always come to the Myriad Devil Islands to visit you again. Qin Wentian rubbed Bai Qing's head as he smiled. Of course, little Qing has to cultivate properly as well. Once you step foot into the Devil King realm, it'll naturally be more convenient for you to travel between the immortal and devil realms. Qing'er seriously nodded her head as a strange light flashed in her eyes. Okay, Qing'er will definitely work hard in her cultivation. But now, I have to personally send Wentian Gich to the immortal realms. Since this battle concerns the marriage between Wentian Gich and Sis Qing'er, and it's happening in the Myriad Devil Islands, I naturally have to do my best. Qin Wentian's eyes flashed. He naturally understood Bai Qing's meaning. It's just that if we use the power of the Judiciary Devil Hall, don't worry. Wentian Gich, you should have seen the attitude of the Judiciary Devil Hall towards you during these years. Don't forget our conjectures. Bai Qing smiled. Back then, that existence also said that as long as we descend the Devil Mountain, the Devil Halls on the Devil Mountain are not allowed to interfere in the battle between us. Qin Wentian frowned. We won't participate in the battle. I'm only going there to send Wenti and Gij off. Naturally, if there are other devil cultivators who dare to help the other party. Bai Qing giggled. Qin Wentian instantly understood what she meant. This little lass. Okay then, I will gather everyone and set off now. Qin Wentian nodded. During these years, there were quite a few allies who ascended the Devil Mountain, but there were only around 50 plus of them. As for the other experts scattered around the myriad Devil Islands, as long as they didn't die and weren't on the Devil Mountain, there was a high possibility that they would head to the exit by themselves. If this was the case, he had to head there earlier to avoid being hunted by Huang Shatian and the others. Qin Wentian gathered all the cultivators on the Devil Mountain together. Everyone naturally understood what Qin Wentian wanted to do. The deadline of 10 years was nearing. It was time for them to return to the immortal realms. At the foot of the Devil Mountain, there are still a few friends waiting for me. Let's head to the vast Sky Devil Island first before heading to the Devil Gate leading to the immortal realms. Qin Wentian spoke. In this alliance, Qin Wentian was the core character. This adjudication battle also revolved around him, and in addition to the fact that his strength was already the strongest in the alliance, everyone naturally listened to him. A group of experts, in addition to an army from the Judiciary Devil Hall, set off from the Devil Mountain just like that. Bujie came to send them off. He temporarily had no plans to leave. There were still some peak geniuses from other immortal realms on the Devil Mountain. They also had no intentions of leaving. In this sacred ground of the myriad Devil Islands, there were many secret realms for cultivation. Although they cultivated immortality, and not the devil, immortality and devil were interlinked. This would be of great help to their future path. On the vast Sky Devil Island in the vast Sky Devil region, in the Emperor Palace, the vast Sky Devil Emperor stood there, staring at a group of experts heading over as his eyes gleamed sharply. Beside him, his daughter was there as well. When she saw the young man who borrowed her daughter to meet the vast Sky Devil Emperor, her heart trembled slightly. Her father said that the army ahead came from the Devil Mountain. Now they were here to protect Qin Wentian. Qin Wentian was simply a monster. Devil Emperor. The subordinates of the vast Sky Devil Emperor, who sent Qin Wentian to the Devil Mountain, bowed. Qin Wentian smiled. Senior Devil Emperor. Qin Wentian is here for the appointment. Qin Wentian, you are truly a fellow who creates miracles. The Devil Emperor laughed, staring at Bai Qing who was beside him. Right now Bai Qing was fully clad in armor, exuding an incomparably cold aura. Most probably, they are from the Judiciary Devil Hall of the Devil Mountain. Back then, Yulong Shengtu of the Imperial Dragon Devil Hall arrived and was incomparably tyrannical. As for the Judiciary Devil Hall, they were even more ancient and powerful compared to the Imperial Dragon Devil Hall. Their status on the Devil Mountain was also a level higher. This is the priestess of the Judiciary Devil Hall. A Devil King at the side spoke. The priestess is truly dazzling. Since the Judiciary Devil Hall has come, I will get people to prepare a banquet. Senior, there's no need to trouble yourself. I'm in a rush and will head to the Fallen Devil region immediately. Qin Wentian smiled. Might as well. The vast Sky Devil Emperor nodded. In that case, let's move out directly to the teleportation array and head to the Fallen Devil Island first. It would be faster. Sure. Qin Wentian nodded. The group of them directly headed out. The daughter of the vast Sky Devil Emperor didn't follow them. Staring at the departing figures, a myriad of emotions flashed through her heart. An immortal realm expert, Wu Xiao, came to the myriad Devil Islands for the first time. From the time he participated in the birthday banquet of the fallen Devil Emperor to the peak of the Devil Mountain and finally led the troops of the Judiciary Devil Hall out, he only used a few short years. The radiance of some people was destined to be unconcealable. No matter where they went, they would radiate boundless light. She also faintly felt some admiration for her father. Back then her father told her that since she chose to agree to Qin Wentian's request, she should be straightforward and not do things that would make Qin Wentian unhappy. It would be meaningless if she did that. Now, from the looks of it, her father was extremely wise, being able to lead the troops of the Judiciary Devil Hall down the Devil Mountain. Even if Qin Wentian broke his promise, there was nothing they could do. The vast Sky Devil Emperor's palace caused a huge commotion. Numerous experts floated in the air. All of them were incomparably shocked in their hearts. After the vast Sky Devil Island, it was the fallen Devil Island's turn to be shocked. When the troops of the Judiciary Devil Hall passed by, it was similar to the time when Yulong Shangtu led the Imperial Dragon Army here, causing a terrifying hurricane. After the fallen Devil Emperor discovered this, he personally came here, and when he saw the silhouette of Qin Wentian, he didn't know what to think in his heart. Since the members of the Judiciary Devil Hall are here, do you need to rest in the Emperor Palace? The fallen Devil Emperor asked. No need. If you are sincere, you can come with us. But if you don't, forget it. Bai Qing's voice was cold as she spoke. Before Qin Wentian, this priestess was like a young girl. Even when facing a Devil Emperor, she still exuded a sense of coldness and imposingness. The eyes of the fallen Devil Emperor flashed. After a moment of silence, he nodded. Okay. If priestess has any needs, feel free to speak. As a Devil Emperor, even if Bai Qing was a priestess, she had no authority to directly order him to do things. However, the status of the priestess of the Judiciary Devil Hall was even stronger compared to Yulong Shangtu. In the future, if she became a Grand Priestess, her authority would be towering up into the heavens. Who would dare to disobey her? Although Bai Qing said that it was fine if he didn't agree, Qin Wentian was already very unhappy with him, and even brought the vast Sky Devil Emperor here. If he missed this chance again, who knew if Qin Wentian and the people of the Judiciary Devil Hall would hate him out of jealousy? Hence, after some consideration, he decided to make a trip there. Since this is the case, many thanks to Senior Devil Emperor. Qin Wentian smiled. With 2 Devil Emperors assisting him, there shouldn't be any suspense in this adjudication battle. Even if Huang Shatian brought Devil Emperors with him, with the experts of the Judiciary Devil Hall present, who would dare to interfere? Old Xia's death wasn't unjust. The fallen Devil Emperor sighed in his heart. Back then, the Old Xia Devil King chose Huang Shatian to bully Qin Wentian because Qin Wentian was merely a junior. Without authority, it was useless no matter how high one's talent was. But in just a short few years, Qin Wentian was already able to lead the Judiciary Devil Army down from the Devil Mountain. Old Xia was destined to face this calamity. I will have to trouble Senior to lead the way to the Devil Gate leading to the Immortal Realms. Qin Wentian spoke. The fallen Devil Emperor nodded. Let us move out now. As he spoke, he led the way. Before Qin Wentian left, he glanced at the horizon. Over there was the direction of the Celestial Devil Lodge. Sighing silently in his heart, he turned and left this place. 2 Devil Emperors as well as an army of the Devil Path. Everywhere they passed by, huge waves of commotion arose on the fallen Devil Island. The rumors regarding Qin Wentian once again circulated around the entire island at an astonishing speed. Back then, Qin Wentian participated in the birthday banquet of the Devil Emperor and radiated boundless radiance. However, he was excluded from the top 3 rankers by the Old Xia Devil King due to his selfishness. Qin Wentian rejected the reward from the Devil Emperor and left in a fit of anger. The 3 Devil Kings pursued him, but they were all killed by Qin Wentian. After that, Qin Wentian led the vast Sky Devil Emperor's army back and killed the Old Xia Devil King, standing against the fallen Devil Emperor, shocking the entire island. But now, when he returned, not only did he bring the vast Sky Devil Emperor with him, he also brought the Judiciary Army of the Devil Mountain with him. The Judiciary Army that caused the 10,000 devils to weep. Even the fallen Devil Emperor had no choice but to submit, leading the way for Qin Wentian. What a hot-blooded story this was, causing the hearts of countless youths to be filled with fervor. In the Celestial Devil Lodge, 2 females stood together. One of them had tears in her eyes. He returned in such an inconceivable manner, even the fallen Devil Emperor had to compromise for him. Such a person truly radiated boundless radiance. The Lodge Lord of the Celestial Devil Lodge glanced at the delicate and beautiful woman beside her as she sighed in her heart. At the same time, she was incomparably shocked. Back then, Xianyu once said that one day when he sat on the throne in the starry space, the women around him would definitely be the focus of attention. As for her, she wasn't worthy. Now that young man was actually walking step by step towards his throne. Chapter 13:18. What a sinister fellow. An expert from the alliance beside Qin Wentian coldly spoke. The fluctuations grew more and more intense. In this incomparably gigantic Devil Gate, many parts of it could be seen. After that, numerous figures stepped out from the void, directly moving towards the gate. Intense fluctuations gradually spread out from the Devil Gate. Everyone held their breaths. Even the people on the side of the Sky Mist Immortal Emperor, who were filled with confidence, were extremely nervous. This tempering exercise would definitely allow Huang Shatian to return in an even stronger state. Today was the last day. If no one stepped out today, there would be no conclusion to the adjudication battle. If that was the case, who would be the victor and who would be the loser? 10 years in the Myriad Devil Islands, I wonder what level Shatian is at now. Most probably, he is getting closer and closer to the Immortal King realm. An immortal emperor from the 9 emperors' immortal state laughed, as though he had absolute confidence in Huang Shatian. A true supreme genius would be able to survive even in the most dangerous environment. Hence, even if Huang Shatian and the others entered the Myriad Devil Islands, he still believed that to Huang Shatian, this was merely an opportunity. 10 years to immortal emperors was simply too short. In the blink of an eye, many conflicts occurred in these 10 years. The experts from both sides didn't allow any immortal kings from the immortal realms to enter the Devil Gate. Even for immortal kings they didn't know, they were also forbidden from entering. This was all for the sake of preventing the people of the other side from entering. It could be said that both sides were in a state of mutual hostility. On this day, even those of the younger generation arrived one after another. For example, Qing'er. She also came here to follow by her father's side. It was naturally impossible for them to exit the Devil Gate. Back then when they entered the Myriad Devil Islands, they had already made an agreement that if anyone entered before them, they would be killed without mercy. They could only exit within 3 months after the deadline of 10 years. The adjudication light slashed down, killing all the guards in disguise. Qin Wentian's expression was cold. Their movements had already been discovered. Even the Devil Emperor's devil sense had no way to locate them. Clearly, Huang Shatian wanted to be on guard and was monitoring them from afar. In that case, it was very possible that they wouldn't show themselves. In this way, he had missed another chance to kill them. The fallen Devil Emperor waved his hand as an illusory palm imprint directly grabbed the person who spoke, seizing his devil spear. Qin Wentian glanced at Bai Qing, feeling somewhat puzzled. Surround them. At this moment, Bai Qing suddenly spoke in a cold voice. After that, the experts from the Judiciary Devil Hall rushed out, surrounding the guards. The guards all grew even more nervous as they stared at these newcomers with fear in their eyes. Now the deadline of 10 years had finally arrived. The battle at the foot of the demonic mountain seemed to have decided this 10-year battle. The Devil Gate of the Myriad Devil Islands has no guards at all. The commotion here can be seen from the Devil Mountain. Bai Qing spoke in a low voice. Qin Wentian's eyes flickered with a cold light as he stared at the group of guards. Since Bai Qing said so, it was obvious that these people were disguised as guards and were here to monitor the situation. Who told you guys to come here? Bai Qing stepped out, her voice cold. Many experts from the other side of the Devil Gate, including many immortal emperors, have already arrived. They were also waiting, and the experts from the Sky Mist Alliance were filled with confidence. However, as time flowed by, the deadline of 10 years has already arrived. The buffer period of 3 months was getting closer and closer, but there was still no one who managed to exit. This caused both sides to be extremely nervous. They couldn't see through the ending, causing everyone to feel suffocated. At this moment, a vast devil might gushed over from afar. Not long after, an army of devil cultivators could be seen rushing over, exuding a fearsome might. The guards at the entrance of the Devil Gate all frowned. Their hands involuntarily trembled as they stared at the incoming experts. Could it be that both sides had no way to exit the Myriad Devil Islands in time? The 10-year deadline of the adjudication battle actually arrived under such an inconceivable atmosphere. When this day arrived, the gazes of many turned to Qin Wentian. These people were none other than Qin Wentian and his allies. After arriving, Qin Wentian swept his gaze over. There was no one from Huang Shatian and his allies. There was no one from his side as well. The days got closer and closer, more and more experts arrived. Jun Mengchen also came here, preparing to welcome Qin Wentian back. During these 10 years, He had roamed many places in the immortal realms and improved tremendously. But he didn't forget the promise he made with Qin Wentian. We came here on our own, wanting to extort some benefits. Hence, they continued to wait quietly. And as expected, during this period of time, several experts from their alliance gathered here. When they saw the lineup of Qin Wentian and his allies, their hearts were filled with shock. At this instant, a light fluctuation instantly caused countless gazes to land on the Devil Gate. Nervousness, anxiety, anticipation. A crisp cracking sound rang out as the Devil's spear shattered. The tiny mirror at the tip of the spear floated there, faintly imprinting the scene in this space. Kill them, Qin Wentian coldly spoke. The eyes of those people flashed. One of them replied, no. Before this, did anyone fight here before? Qin Wentian asked. Such a situation shouldn't be possible. It was impossible for there to be no one here. But as the 3-month deadline approached, they faintly felt that this wasn't something impossible. Time truly passes by quickly. Evergreen, in a few more days your daughter Qing and the daughter of the White Emperor Stained Glass would be married into my Sky Mist Immortal Empire. At that time we would be in-laws and we would be able to sit together, drink tea and chat. The Sky Mist Immortal Emperor laughed. Chongqing the Great glanced at him and directly ignored his words. As the 10-year deadline approached, the Devil Gate of the Myriad Devil Islands, in a corner of the Immortal Realms, many experts gathered here. In fact, there were even several immortal emperors here. They were patrolling in front of the Devil Gate, as though they were guards protecting it. Kill! An austere voice rang out. Those people turned pale. They didn't expect that they would offend such a terrifying enemy and lose their lives for this mission. No wonder the rewards for this seemingly simple mission were so generous. Let's wait for the 10-year deadline to be up, Qin Wentian calmly spoke. The group of them set up camp here and time flowed by bit by bit. Initially, they thought that a decisive battle would occur before they exited this place. But the truth was that at the very last moment, the decisive battle didn't arrive. Huangshetan. Qin Wentian's eyes flashed with coldness. Qin Wentian had long planned and agreed to the vast Sky Devil Emperor's request. But at the same time, the vast Sky Devil Emperor would act as his protector, and with Bai Qing's help, the situation was already set. However, Huang Shatian also had his own methods. He descended the Devil Mountain in advance and actually had people stationed outside the Devil Gate. In this case, their actions should have already been discovered by the vast Sky Devil Emperor. On the other side of the Devil Gate was the Myriad Devil Islands. In front of the Devil Gate, there were quite a few devil cultivators roaming about. They were clad in armor and wielded devil spears in their hands. At the point where the spear tip connected to the spear shaft, there was actually a tiny mirror that shone with a dazzling light. Huang Shatian and the others didn't appear at all. When the 2 devil emperors and experts from the Judiciary Devil Hall appeared, Huang Shatian already understood that the adjudication battle has already ended. There was no way to reverse the situation. Kill them, Bai Qing commanded. Seniors, we juniors will leave immediately. Those devil cultivators trembled as they spoke. Yes, priestess. The experts from the Judiciary Devil Hall replied. In an instant, a destructive light flashed, causing those devil cultivators to feel terror in their hearts. They directly knelt and begged, spare us. There's someone who ordered us to stand guard here. There's no need for us to do anything. The adjudication battle for the promise of 10 years this time around was between Qin Wentian and Huang Shatian. But in truth, the truth behind this adjudication battle wasn't so simple. It was a competition between the peak powers of the immortal realms. If they won this battle, they would have already achieved their initial goal. It's just that it was a pity for those devil cultivators who died in the Myriad Devil Islands. Because her cultivation base was lower, although she came here to send Qin Wentian off, she didn't enter the Myriad Devil Islands. 10 years ago, those who entered the Myriad Devil Islands to participate in the adjudication battle were all at the peak level of Immortal Foundation. Also, the vast majority of them had already broken through and comprehended a trace of Immortal King might. The area outside the Devil Gate was extremely quiet. The presence of this army caused the experts of the Myriad Devil Islands to not even dare to step out. Nobody knew what this army was doing and no one dared to ask them. This is a treasure. As long as the owner instills his energy into it, He would be able to monitor the situation here from afar. The vast Sky Devil Emperor spoke. Tenlon Heaven Kingdom, Evergreen Kingdom, ZDGD, the Supreme Sword School, the Nine Emperors Immortal State, the Celestial Palace, the Taihua Immortal Dynasty, the Dongshengshan Gate, the White Tiger People, the Namhuang Clan, the Immortal Qinbian Gate. Which of these powers wouldn't be able to dominate an entire region? The leaders of these powers were all immortal emperors, and there were even peak-stage immortal emperors among them. Qin Wentian's eyes gleamed with Buddhic light, able to see through all lies. He could sense the lies of the other party as his expression turned even colder. If there was a battle here, it would mean that his allies had arrived long ago and were ambushed. His allies wouldn't have thought that these guards were here to monitor the situation here. But luckily, there's no longer any suspense in this adjudication battle. Duan Qingshan spoke. Qin Wentian nodded his head lightly. Although it was a pity that they didn't manage to kill Huang Shatian and the others, their main purpose for coming here was still the adjudication battle. Let's wait for the 3-month buffer period to end before we exit. Maybe during these 3 months our allies would come here. In addition, even if we exit, we have to guard against Huang Shatian and the others. If not, all our previous efforts might go to waste. Qin Wentian spoke as everyone agreed. At this moment, everyone was staring at the Devil Gate, anxiously waiting. Even if only one person walked out, victory or defeat would be determined. Chapter 13:19. More than 10 places on the Devil Gate started to tremble at the same time as numerous faces appeared. At this instant, the gazes of the people from the Devil Gate froze as they held their breaths. Qin Wentian, one of the silhouettes, was especially eye-catching. With a single glance, one could tell that all these silhouettes were actually experts from Qin Wentian's side. The gazes of Chongqing the Great froze. After that he smiled. Today was the last day of the 3 months deadline. Just when they thought that there was a possibility that both sides wouldn't appear, Qin Wentian led so many experts back. There was only one possibility. Qin Wentian's group had been guarding the exit on the other side, not allowing them to step out. As for the other possibility, Huang Shaishan's group had all been killed. The probability of that was even lower. These people were all intelligent people. They instantly thought of this possibility. However, the people from the Sky Mist Immortal Emperor's side weren't willing to believe this possibility. Their countenances kept changing, especially those from the Nine Emperors' Immortal State. Huang Shaishan's strength had been tested by them. In addition to that terrifying divine weapon, who would be able to stop him? In addition, their lineup was even stronger. Why would Qin Wentian's group dare to guard the exit? Unless they borrowed external help. But if Qin Wentian could do it, how could Huang Shatian not do it as well? Very swiftly, numerous silhouettes walked out from Qin Wentian's group, moving towards the crowd. The people around him were all in high spirits, as though victory was already in their grasp. This further verified the speculations of the crowd. The adjudication battle had already concluded. Qin Wentian, how is it? The Emperor Qinbian smiled. He was in a good mood when he saw Qin Wentian walking out. He should have already won. Qin Wentian smiled. Haha, good. The 1,000 Transformations Emperor Lord laughed. The eyes of the Evergreen Immortal Emperor also flashed with a smile as he spoke. Thank you for your hard work. Qing who was beside him, flashed and walked to the side of Qin Wentian. Her cold eyes revealed a smile as she stretched out her slender hand and held Qin Wentian's hand. Her soft palm gently rubbed Qin Wentian's palm, silently expressing the emotions in her heart. We won. Qin Wentian's other hand gently caressed Qing Er's hair as he smiled. Qing nodded lightly. She was as quiet as usual. There's still one more day. I don't think so, right? The Sky Mist Immortal Emperor had an unsightly expression on his face. This adjudication battle was initiated by him against the Evergreen Immortal Empire. Although there were many powers participating, the main characters were still his Sky Mist Immortal Empire and the Evergreen Immortal Empire, creating such a huge storm in the eastern regions, initiating the adjudication battle in an era where there were no ancient emperors. If they were defeated in the adjudication battle, wouldn't they become a laughingstock? Qin Wentian turned his gaze to the Sky Mist Immortal Emperor as a mocking smile flashed in his eyes. There's indeed one more day. However, I'm afraid Senior will be disappointed. Not a single one of them will be able to come out. What do you mean by that? The Sky Mist Immortal Emperor coldly spoke. Nothing much, I'm just stating a fact. Qin Wentian replied. After that, he lifted his foot and moved towards the immortal emperors on his side. Because on the last day of the adjudication battle, GD Nanfeng Guhong, Chongqing the Great, Emperor Qianbian and the other experts were all here. Qin Wentian bowed to them. Many thanks for the help of seniors. For this adjudication battle, there are some friends who might not be able to come out alive. Wentian has let down all of you. After entering the myriad Devil Islands, everyone was scattered. Many of them died while tempering themselves in the myriad Devil Islands. This can't be blamed on you. Also, when they were together with you, none of them died. Also, you even defeated Huang Shatian. If it wasn't for that battle, there would still be suspense in the adjudication battle. You have already done very well. Mo Zian, who was at the side, spoke. Everyone nodded. In truth, this adjudication battle was more like a battle between Huang Shatian and Qin Wentian. The two of them fought from the Fallen Devil region all the way to the myriad Devil Islands, finally deciding the victor. As for the others, it was more like they went to the myriad Devil Islands to temper themselves. He defeated Shatian? An immortal emperor from the 9 emperors' immortal state coldly spoke. What shameless boasting! How can Shatian be defeated by him? At the foot of the myriad Devil Mountains, everyone watched. Huang Shatian was defeated. If it wasn't for someone siding with him, he would have already died. Nanfeng Ruoxuan mockingly spoke. A powerful might gushed forth from the immortal emperor of the 9 emperors' immortal state. Can't afford to lose? Chongqing the Great inclined his head and glanced at the immortal emperor as he coldly spoke. The adjudication battle hasn't truly concluded yet. I will wait for one more day. Although they knew the ending was already set, during these 10 years of waiting, they had always felt that they would win this battle. But in the end they were defeated. They couldn't accept this. Hence, even if there was still a trace of hope, they were still filled with anticipation. Senior brother. Jun Mengchen walked towards Qin Wentian as he smiled. You finally defeated that fellow Huang Shatian. Back in Tiandao Sacred Academy, I've always found that brother of yours to be an eyesore, thinking that he is invincible under the heavens. I truly wanted to see what expression he had when you defeated him. Jun Mengchen's words attracted cold gazes from the immortal emperor of the 9 emperors' immortal state. However, he couldn't be bothered to care about it. He continued, during these days, those people have always believed themselves to be infallible, as though they have already won the adjudication battle. I wonder what they are thinking in their hearts now. I hope they aren't thinking about how to overturn the adjudication battle and find other reasons to start a dispute. Qin Wentian sarcastically spoke. The immortal realms initiated the adjudication battle and they accepted it, winning the adjudication battle. However, he didn't think that the immortal realms would give up just like that. Maybe they would find other excuses. This time, so many peak powers were implicated and the storm was so intense. If they let them retreat without obtaining anything, most probably, many of them would feel extremely unwilling. However, no matter what would happen in the future, they had already obtained victory in this adjudication battle. If the immortal realms were still unwilling, Emperor, you would be able to openly join in. Strands of intense baleful aura gushed over. These were experts from the White Tiger people. Most probably, these White Tigers hated him the most. Tiandao Sacred Academy's Qin Wentian roasted white tiger meat. The people from the White Tiger people wanted nothing more than to swallow him alive. This day seemed to be very long to the alliance of the Sky Mist Immortal Emperor. They always had hope, but in the end they were still disappointed. After a day passed, Huang Shatian and the others still hadn't appeared. This indicated that the adjudication battle has officially ended. The Sky Mist Immortal Emperor, Zidi, Dongsheng Heaven Emperor, and the other experts all cast a deep glance at Qin Wentian. This little fellow back then was like an ant that they could kill with a single slap. Now, he has already broken through to the peak of Immortal Foundation. Although his cultivation base was pitifully weak to them, he was able to control the adjudication battle in the eastern regions. In the eyes of Zidi and Dongsheng Heaven Emperor, the killing intent they had for Qin Wentian grew even more intense, even stronger compared to before. Seems like this young man couldn't be left alive any longer. If he continued to grow, he would surely become a calamity in the future. The people of the 9 emperors' immortal state were the most unwilling to accept this. That immortal emperor had an ashen expression. The adjudication battle with Huang Shatian as a participant was actually defeated. After Huang Shatian obtained the inheritance of the founding emperor, the 9 emperors' immortal state had high hopes for Huang Shatian. In addition, Huang Shatian was a peak-level genius from the Tiandao Sacred Academy. The 9 emperors' immortal state hoped that in the future, Huang Shatian would be able to become a hegemon of an era, not only in the 9 emperors' immortal state, but in the vast and boundless immortal realms. He would become a character akin to an ancient emperor. The defeat in the adjudication battle didn't seem like much, but from a certain perspective, it was Huang Shaishan's defeat against Qin Wentian. On the path to becoming a peak-level expert, the strongest person would be able to constantly eliminate his opponents and climb up step by step. From the looks of this defeat, the main character of that era wasn't Huang Shatian, because he was the one who was defeated. The experts of the 9 emperors' immortal state glanced at Qin Wentian as killing intent flashed in their eyes. A dead person would never become the main character of an era. Qin Wentian frowned. At this instant he actually felt several unmasked killing intents. A cold intent appeared in his heart. He, a minor character at the Immortal Foundation realm, actually caused so many immortal emperors to feel such intense killing intent towards him. He didn't know if he should feel proud or depressed. At this moment a beam of light flashed in the air. Emperor Yu stood in the air and laughed. The deadline for the adjudication battle has arrived. The alliance of the Evergreen Kingdom is victorious. Since this is the case, the earlier adjudication battle shall be annulled. Not only did the adjudication battle win, it was a complete victory. Not a single person from the Tenlon Heaven Kingdom alliance walked out. Such an ending was truly ironic. The adjudication battle was annulled? This was a battle that involved all the major powers of the eastern regions. Even the Namhuang clan, the 9 emperors' immortal state, the White Tiger people, and the other major powers. Was it going to end just like that? In the eyes of those immortal emperors, unmasked reluctance could be seen. Brother Skymist, I've disappointed you. Chongqing the Great spoke, as though he was intentionally mocking the Evergreen Emperor. Even if we were defeated in the adjudication battle, could it be that Brother Chongqing intends to break the agreement between the immortal empires? The Skymist Immortal Emperor coldly spoke. You actually dare to bring up the Dog's Hit agreement between the immortal empires? How ridiculous! Chongqing the Great was extremely unhappy. He even cursed. Since the adjudication battle is victorious, the Tenlon Heaven Kingdom will no longer harass my Evergreen Kingdom, right? At this moment I, Evergreen, officially announce that I will betroth my beloved daughter, Qing'er, to Qin Wentian. Chongqing the Great solemnly spoke. The words of an immortal emperor were like 9 cauldrons. Chongqing the Great's words undoubtedly wanted the Skymist Immortal Emperor to renounce the marriage agreement. After the adjudication battle was decided, Chongqing the Great announced that he would betroth Qing'er to Qin Wentian. Could it be that the Skymist Immortal Emperor would regret it now? As expected, the expression of the Skymist Immortal Emperor turned black. The Namhuang clan GD and the other immortal emperors all stared at Chongqing the Great. Seems like Chongqing regarded Qin Wentian with great importance. This definitely wasn't a moment of rashness. Qin Wentian and Qing'er held each other's hands. The two of them exchanged glances and smiled as their bodies leaned against each other. Now that their Evergreen Emperor has announced to the world, there was nothing that could obstruct them.